Hello and welcome to our show, Midwest Weekly, starring myself, Hairwiz, and my co-host, Clt. And where the hell have we been for a whole 2 weeks? Sorry, I was enjoying myself in the woods of Wisconsin, and Clt was enjoying himself, I don't know, somewhere on Mount Doom, I think. But we're back and ready to give you a breakdown to our best of our ability of the last 2 weeks. We're going to be talking play-ins as well as the wild card round. Got 4 series, got a lot of games. We'll touch on them the best what we can, and then we'll touch a little bit on the matchup coming with the quarterfinals between Femboys and Son Incarnate and Mythos versus Leaf. So yeah, so let's see how you feeling, man.
I'm good, man. I'm just chilling, ramping up for some Herald League action and just been grinding through life, bro. You know I'll be.
Yeah, grinding through life is the way to go. I think someone said once. Well, I think we'll start with the small brain series first. I think that's the first that was posted. So this one was a lengthy one of the 4 series we're going to talk about today. The only one to go 5 games. Um, so that is something. Uh, did you catch any of the series, man?
I caught some of it, but it's been so long that I'm probably gonna need to skim through it.
Yeah, I mean we don't gotta go crazy and such. I think the most important thing is how did the teams that got where they got, and I think so. How did both Femboys and Maple Go find themselves in this wild card match? And I think that's the most important thing to discuss for these plans. Not bypassing plans. I think this first best of five we're going to talk about was an absolute banger from what I've heard on the viewership side of things. So, so yeah, we'll start with the first game here. It was a win here by Maple Go. They like I said they did win the series 3-2, but this first game they get the victory here in 29 minutes. A decent game, nothing too long, nothing too short. Pull out the Twitch once again. The Twitch ended up having success again against Small Brains. I do think there was a window for Small Brains to win the game, but it just did not pan out. Um, but yeah, I mean, you look at it, it really felt like it was really really close. I don't particularly think anyone like overly shone in this game. Everybody played their role really well. Um, on the side of Mapago. From Small Brains, I think there were some miscues here and there. But again, I don't think you really look at anyone and go, "Oh, this is just your fault why they lost the series." I think Zema and Campbell played really really well. I'll give myself a small little shout out. I don't think I played bad by no means. Um, Vic, this is the first time he's ever played Orn, I think, in a Midwest League series for us, which I don't think he was as comfortable. I don't think he played bad on the champion. I'd love to see him play more of it, to be honest. But yeah, it's kind of a little rundown on the draft here in game one. And um, you got any takes here, man?
Uh, I mean, it was a pretty action-packed game. I'm here at around the 13-minute mark, and it's 7-7, so we're averaging a kill a minute. Boatload of action. I think looking at the draft, I would tend to favor Mapagos a little bit. I don't think Twitch is forced to get online super early against Orange Jinx, and there's quite a bit there to keep him alive, or you have to go through to get to him. In the sense of the Zen, or I'm sorry, in the sense of like the Lulu protection on top of Shen R and then Pantheon coming over the top.
Right.
So I think it's a really nice front to back comp. So overall, it's just whoever played their comp better, which I think Mapago has way more options.
Yeah, I mean, I see both angles of it. To be honest, I don't know if I would say, even looking back at the game, I don't really feel that Mapago's comp was actually better. Um, yeah, Twitch is nice, and Twitch Lulu's everyone knows it's a great combo. But Braum is really good into Twitch. Xin Zhao is really good into Pantheon. So you have two of these tools that are trying to get in and kill the Jinx. If you position well, I don't really see an angle where they just sit there and just blow up the back line. The problem is positioning, and I think there was some positioning miscues there by Mono in this game. Um, I also think that Sam Led played pretty well in the Aurora, which was a little bit of an issue, but the Jinx plays proper front to back, and the team fight goes the way it's supposed to. I think it's hard for Twitch to just delete people for free, and then Jinx gets resets. So I don't think the comp was necessarily better for Mapago. If anything, I think the comps are really just even, because there's always tools on both ends to win a team fight. It's all about how the players play more than it's about the comp itself. So I'd argue if we're talking drafts, this is probably far from a draft diff in game one. This is actually just solid drafting by both teams.
We I don't fully disagree, but I think Mapago's comp is much easier and more set up for a front to back. There were like Ari's in, and even Braum to some degree do enjoy playing more of a pick style skirmish oriented type game.
Well, if you think that of Braum, that's crazy. Braum is a vanguard. He just wants to stand in front.
He can do both. I'm not disagreeing with you,
Yeah,
but like
he
if
can
you
be
have
versatile.
Braum Zen as like your support jungle that's walking around here, Zen procs the passive
Okay.
pretty well. So
Hear me out. Hear me out. If we want to take that angle, just for a quick second, and we're gonna get off this topic. If we want to take that angle, Lulu can engage. Then Lulu wants to go forward and engage because she wants to just flash in wild growth herself and pop up the entire enemy team.
that's
Braum does not want to innately go forward. He is so happy playing front to back. He is so good at it. He doesn't have to do anything but sit near his Jinx, and you just like basically win the game. I'll give you the Xin Zhao, but at that point, Xin Zhao Pantheon do the exact same thing. And I'd even argue that Pantheon is forced to do it even more. But they both have tools that work the same way. Xin Zhao has his ult, so he negates damage if you're not inside the circle. Pantheon has his E that negates damage if you're not to the side or behind him. So those champions are then the same in a sense. So you're talking about what's easier. I think you're looking at it from the standpoint of like, well, it's just Twitch Lulu. I get it, but like, Jinx has an easier job than Twitch. If Twitch mispositions and doesn't ult properly, he's absolutely useless in this game. Like,
he has bailout tools in Lulu and Shin, and then that
sure,
stalls time for Pantheon to come over the top.
sure.
So like
That's
their
a possibility.
response is
But
much better
you
than
don't
your
have
guys'.
to. I think what you're missing is I don't think you have to engage on the side of either comp though. Right? You're not required to do that. Both comps are happy if you just jump at them. Even Xin Zhao is happy with it. I've played Xin Zhao in multitude of ways. I would have been cool with, like, the whole point of our comp was once we got to a certain point, we were just going to front to back. That was literally the conversation. It was just like we front to back. Ari is basically a distraction, and we just make sure that Jinx wins the game. Like that was literally the comp. It had nothing to do with like let's jump on their faces. I think in parts of the game you want to do that to get ahead. Yes, like absolutely. But we had both comps had monster setups for that. I mean, we had Ornn, Xin Zhao, Braum. Like, what? Jinx is so happy playing it. It's so easy for Jinx to play the game as long as you don't troll the game. And positioning is key. And I think again, Jinx mispositioned. When Twitch mispositioned, he got punished too. You can't misposition with these carries, especially in
Oh,
this game. That's all about
agreed
these
there.
carries.
Agreed. There's way more responsive tools aside of Mapago, and you guys are for the most part having to go forward, or if not, then it's just kind of become a can you track the Twitch, and eventually law of averages, he's going to be able to pop off somebody out of fog of war, and now you're looking at a 4v5 while that person either has to back or he's gray screened.
I mean,
So
that's a best case scenario. I guess you're giving them. I still just don't think it's that bad. We don't have to go that hard forward.
it's not a sense of good or bad. It's a sense of like what each comp wants to do. And
I mean,
for the
both
most part, like
both comps want to play the same, in my opinion. Still, like Twitch definitely wants to pop out and just like obliterate people, but basically it's like, all right, Aurora, drop your kit and then let Twitch play, right? That's the whole point. But Aurora, drop your kit, don't get CC'd. You get CC'd, Jinx reset. Doesn't matter if Twitch pops out of fucking left field, as long as there's still stuff up to deal with Twitch, right? There's so many ways to go around it. Like, but we don't have to
I
put up everything on Aurora to win a fight. We just don't. We just need
no,
to
but
we
it's
need to play our abilities
the,
correctly and position well.
the drop on the Aurora is what creates the resets out of Ari, out of Jinx as well. Um, it's Mapago has just a way more. They're front to back as well. I don't disagree with like the compositions, but how they get to their front to backs is fundamentally different. Like Mapago's a much more responsive style of team comp. Um, in the sense of the Shen, Lulu. Like if you're looking to skirmish, um, which that's innately going to happen with Aries and Braum, you have Lulu, Pantheon, Shen responding, and if you're talking about most of like front to back, like 5v5, these comps are just sitting, in mid lane, just trying to create space. Xin Zhao is very, very good at that, but Shen W also has like a boatload of value after he comes out of the ult.
Yeah,
Outside of Jinx
he
Rocket, she has
he
no
certainly
no
can.
way of accessing like frontline damage there for a little
There's
bit of
also
time.
there's also angles that Jinzao is happy to just click R and uh completely negate the Shen W. So just depends on how things are played. It's always going to be about positioning, and if you miss position, you're going to get punished. I think that was this whole series, or not whole series, but whole game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm looking at a skirmish here at like 22 minutes of like you guys obviously pulled the first trigger on it, but Pantheon E stalls out Shen R, and then it becomes fight in a choke point versus Twitch. Which, granted, this is one fight. This is a very,
yeah,
very small
that
sample
and I'm gonna
size.
tell you right now, like the only thing because I was supposed to ult a little quicker there, but didn't expect Pantheon W to be up as quick as it was. Like that fight would have been fine. It just I missed played the fight. That was it. So otherwise, like they don't kill me, and then we just clean up the fight from there because now the Shen is in a horrible position because he is behind enemy lines after my ult, and there's no E on the Pantheon, so it's really difficult for them to play. But I didn't click ult in time, so I got punished for it.
CC lock.
Yeah, I just wasn't quick. I could have been quick enough because I didn't even get necessarily CC'd to death. It was just like all you gotta do is click R on Pantheon, and I actually negated CC. Like it's so simple. I've done it a million times, and just this one time just didn't do it. So it happens. Can't win them all. So, but with that said, it was a fun game. I don't want to stay stuck on game one forever, but it was really well played there by Maverick as the game progressed, and it was really tightly contested. I just think there was too many times where the Jinx got caught out, and it really just like messed up the game. And I do think after we won this fight at 23 minutes, we shouldn't have gone Baron. That was something in hindsight. I think we just go Drake. Kind of messed up our tempo pretty bad. We could have just easily played the Drake with no issue. I think our Baron's too slow, and we gotta respect Aurora spawning. She could just like two shot our mid support. So, and then from there, pretty much kind of screwed up the game because the tempo got screwed. So, but I'm happy to move on to game two. So let's get a talk on there. Game two, Small Brains were able to pick up the victory here. Mono and Zema had absolutely banger games here on the Cassiopeia and the Inara. They went with an interesting draft. I still am not sure why they went with the Poppy from lead. I don't know if that was just like take that away from Campbell for future or if that was a specific reason. It was an interesting pick because it didn't really do much in this game. Um, and then unfortunately, like the rest of the comp around it couldn't play because there really wasn't much for the Poppy to do to like peel. Like the best she could do is kind of peel Renekton. Technically, I guess she could peel the Inara. Technically, like but Inara's not all about that one dash she's gonna have with her ult, right? So, just more in her kit than just that. So it was a very interesting pick there, and I think that was the one that kind of threw me off in hindsight, looking back. Like, oh, okay. Um, but it was still a game that did not end quickly. They stalled out pretty well, but eventually we were able to kind of break it open and end that game. What do you kind of see here from game two?
Um,
I'll show the
Game
numbers here.
two, I thought, uh, just kind of again skimming through this early game and then seeing these comps. I like overall what Mapago dra- uh drafted here. I think they have a lot of tools, a lot of responses, and I think in the early game they have a lot of lane pressure that's hard for small brains to deal with. Gragas is kind of really hard to move in lane, even for someone like Renekton. Until they get a few levels. Quay has been naturally like pretty good into Cassio just because of the range discrepancy. And no, the Poppy is I agree is kind of in a weird spot, but I can see overall like get on top of Yunara or try to block her mobility in these team fights, or just sitting on the front line with W threatening to stop Renekton from trying to get to the back line. Um, yeah. Overall, I again kind of like last game. I think it just comes down to what these comps want to do. Um, but you guys got off pretty good ganks. The Nocturne level 6, you kept this game pace pretty quick, and especially like Nocturne and the Cassio is really nice, especially if you get the grounding field down. It becomes hard for them to escape.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's something you would normally think of with like a like my pick. Like I don't think you go Cassiopeia and Nocturne. That's the mid jungle setup.
It's a terrible duo, but it works.
but it worked out. I think the thing is, and I know I'm one of those people that have always said this, and I think I've heard other people like maybe even Hidden Leaf players say this before, maybe Mapago players say this. You don't have to paranoia to go in every time. You just don't have to do that. Paranoia is an interesting tool because it allows for different things, and certainly one of them would be like setting up flanks or setting up invisible TPs, basically, because you can't see the TP coming from a certain angle, which is part of flanks, right? Um, it could be used to mask Ash alt or, um, you know, uh, maybe like an Ezra alt even or a Jinx rocket. I guess it's a tool that is used for more than just that. Also, every time he clicks it, you generally kind of go, oh wait, we gotta respect it. So like, let's say you're trying to make a play onto a carry, well all of a sudden he pops his paranoia, and you can't just run at them. Now you gotta respect it. You gotta play around that Nocturne R, and once it runs out, then you can continue to turn and go. So I think it's not like preferred with Cassiopeia, but at least in this sense, it's kind of okay because you know you can at least play around that a bit and kind of peel in a sense with the paranoia. So it was an interesting draft, I will definitely say. But the rest of the well, I shouldn't even say interesting. It was just the Cassiopeia pick in particular was interesting with the draft. But I think the core draft is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you're just kind of threatening a lot of scaling uh, into a team comp that doesn't have really any engage to stop it. Like, what's Gragas or Poppy gonna do? Just kind of run out of Cassio, run out of Yunara. Um, so you kind of seen the way that went in a lot of these like mid game fights. Dragons tied 2-2 at the about 27-minute mark, but we could see Vic has enough items to now be able to compete in side lane against Gragas. I mean, you guys had Baron at the time, so that helps against Gragas. And then it becomes, where does Nocturne just freely go? Um, once you guys got ahead, like if your guys' comp is so good into theirs that once you get ahead, there's just nothing they can do. And I mean, Cassio is slept on in my opinion, but I think she's really going to be good later in these playoffs when the new season patch comes out and uh, was it Deathfire Torch comes back, Deathfire Grass.
Yeah, DFG.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think Zemma plays it extremely well. Like, it's one of those picks that not a lot of people know he even plays half the time. But I'd argue it's one of his best picks. He's extremely good on the champion. Um, but he's really, I mean, honestly, he's just really good on late game scalers. I've been trying to get this guy to play stuff like a Nivea for the longest because I feel like he'd actually be really good on it. He's really good at just scaling picks, and he knows how to like make plays that people don't see. With champions that are like not your normal like outplay crazy. Let me make a move. Not saying that he can't play those champs too. We all know like Azir exists, but um, it's definitely something unique, and I don't know if they expected that. I'm sure they've at some point seen him play it. I would like to believe, but it was a good pick, and I think it's good into majority of what they have in their arsenal here as far as their comp goes. Like Quirky can't step up and auto the Cassiopeia for free ever. He has to play respectful, so it's just like a good example.
Yeah, I think the Nocturne is what makes this really hard, just because of the just snapping gauge there. If you tell me it's some other jungler, like maybe even like a Sejuani or something that has like they do have snapping gauges, but it's not like as reliable as Nocturne, then I think there's a world where like you're walking in the Hui, Gragas, Corki. It
Yeah,
can be a little bit difficult, but it's also just like kind of what I thought about the first game. It's like you guys have a little more tools involved, and even though they have responsive measures, it's it's still them waiting on you guys. Like
yeah,
you're allowed to be proactive, and that's kind of the comps you guys like to play
yeah. I think with
overall.
the Cassiopeia being like a little weird in the comp, like the Poppy being the counter to that is like, but at least Cassiopeia is really good into the enemy comp. I don't know if like, again, I don't think Poppy's that great here. Like her best angle is peeling the Renekton, which is not a bad thing to peel the Renekton, right? Like that's good to peel him off, but you're gonna have a hard time really
I
utilizing the
don't.
strengths of the pick. I think is my whole thing.
It's I don't necessarily look at it that because they have decent peel. Like you've got Poppy, Gragas, Nami. It's just all the angles of attack and the skirmishing power. Like you guys skirmished way more in this game. Uh, because you're Nocturne, you're pretty fed. You got to the I forget what that ulting cooldown
Experimental
item
hexplate.
is. Yeah, you got to experimental hexplate, and at that point, like you're starting to run the map. You have decent setup in all of the other lanes as well. But like if you ever burn a flash post level 6, we've seen it. You guys punished Sam Lad quite a bit in the laning phase. I think I remember one gank where you ulted him and then flashed the fear tether, so he went back towards Cassio and then got grounded.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, that was
yeah, like those are the type of tools that you guys have, and until they start to group up in 5v5,
I really
it's
liked that play actually because it was like an insect.
a little bit. It was unique. Like you don't see many nocturnes think about doing that. But you guys are always very methodical and tracking timers, and if you guys are allowed to execute your game plan, you guys that's where your strengths are.
Yeah,
So it's just sometimes maybe if the game plan goes awry or the setup for it can kind of get disrupted. That's where you guys uniquely have had trouble with.
yeah.
Um,
But
but
it
no,
it was a
it's a
fun
good game.
game. It was a fun
Yeah.
game. I'm sorry, Nexus, if you're watching this. I know I kind of targeted you a little bit in this game. I think I ulted him like half of the game. It felt like so.
Mm.
I really couldn't kill anybody. Like that was the thing. Like if I ulted Corky, he just doesn't die. He just W's away and then kites me. Hui is like kind of killable, but it came to a point where it's like, all right, now he's really not a target anymore because he just like I have to play with team really. It was kind of this Nocturne game, so which I'm happy to
Yeah.
do. I mean, it's the whole point of the League of Legends, man. It's a team game, so. But yeah, we can move on to game 3. Uh, Game three, another fun one. I think more fun for them than us. The the Rise, man. Like look, Tango went 7-1-8, and the rest of the team did pretty well on the Vi and the led to get on the Vi. But this show
Oh,
like was the Sam led show. If there was a show, man, it was him. Like that Rise was disgusting. Like just killing us on repeat. And I remember one thing, if I could take back in the series, I wanted Zema to pick Rise. I wanted him to take Rise, I think on 4 it was. And it was because I wanted him to take it away from them. Because I was like, if they get Rise here, it actually goes so hard with their comp into ours at the time. And it did. It did. Now, there were some opportunities for us to get advantages early. I got a little pressed. But, I, you know, say what you want. Nexus played a good game too, but I still, it just felt like Sam Led was this was Sam Lett's show. This was his one of his best games I think I've seen him play almost ever. It was insane, and he was really really good on the Rise. Um, but yeah,
uh,
we just didn't get the setup for what we wanted to do in this game. It was partly my fault. I kind of choked it a bit there. So
uh, I, I'm, I don't know. I don't have enough background to agree or disagree with that last point as far as the pointing the fingers. When I do remember this is kind of when I started tuning in. But now that I'm going through, I'm I'm remembering this series. This R5 Akali, I was screaming for like kind of what you were talking about, like an Anivia. Cassio actually would have been like decent here. Fearless didn't take it away. Acel, like something to just because outside of Vi, they have zero like productivity in their comp, and then this Rise just gets big. Like the only thing this Akali threatens is the Ezreal in the mid to late game, and Ezreal just has ways of getting back. You even have Bard ult to just kind of stall it out a little bit. And Nexus is a very goated Bard player in this league. I thought the R5 Akali, I was just kind of like, what the hell? And I thought there was just way better options
yeah,
uh, here overall.
I he has stuff in his pool still, obviously to pull out, but the people like called for the Akali, we go with the Akali, right? I agree. When you play the game and you kind of feel what the Akali does, it's like damn, like this champion feels almost useless this game. It's not, but it's almost as. But again, like I think if the game goes a little better early, because you got to shut down the Rise, right? If the game goes better early, if I don't get a little crazy on the play, which I think is at my blue buff, so I think it's coming up here early on in the game. If I'm a little slower on the play, I think we end up pretty much acing them because I think we end up killing all of them, or they're all forced to flash after the Rise flashes. He's sitting on 1 HP. I don't have to do anything at that point. Just let the bot lane meet up, and I got a little antsy trying to finish the kill, and screwed myself with it, hindsight's 2020. But regardless, we're on a timer against something like this, and that's just something we have to respect. So, you know, but there definitely was an angle for things to be a little better.
Yeah, I remember like this early game had to go damn near like perfect for you guys.
Yeah. I also
And
I feel like Zai is useless. But anyways, continue.
mm,
I
I
just can't
Zaya is
stand
useless
this champion.
in this scenario. I actually think Zaya is a little slept on, but again, I think she's like a lot of the like lower A B tier ADCs where like if you pick them in the right spot in the draft, they look absolutely like goated, but if you don't, it's really hard to play. Like Zaya loves everybody just kind of ooga boogaaing into her, and she goes really well with other zone control mages. I say that as like kind of that is my play style. That's the champions, and I have a Zaya main on my team, so I have a lot of
I agree with you
sample
though,
size into
actually,
that.
because I think of Zaya like I think of Caitlyn, except I think Caitlyn's a better champion right now. I think it's the exact same. The Caitlyn definitely loves
Yeah,
similar shit. Like if you get an Nivea with a Caitlyn, bro, that sounds disgusting. Anything,
yeah. Good luck walking into
yeah,
that dragon pit.
anything that can zone you with those 80 carries with your mid lane pick, or maybe even another pick that you could. There's obviously zoning junglers and top laners that are available, but they're few and far in between and compared to like the mid lane. If you can get another zoning tool because I feel like Zaya's kind of a zoning champion too because you have to respect her feathers. You can't just walk into chokes and act goofy. I, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. But at the same point, I don't think Zaya is that great of a champion right now. I'll give you like low or I'll give you like high B tier as an AD carry personally. Um, and competitive that is. It's like so it's game 3. I think it's something you can pick, but man, like if we had Caitlyn here and we just drafted a different mid, like this game is so much better. Like as far as the draft goes, but nonetheless, like really it just came down to some mess ups, and I got a little too antsy. I think, like I said, because lead got a big lead off that, no pun intended, and allowed him to kind of control the game from there. And then eventually the Rise just became this unkillable demon. So,
Yeah.
but you live, you learn. Like I guess is all I can say with that. Uh, you know, mistakes happen, but we got winning lanes in other spots. Like I thought, like I don't think Zion and Rakan into Ezreal Bard is horrible. I think it's pretty sail it out matchup. Kind of maybe even Zion Rakan favored, right? Because you can't just step up into the Rakan. Top lane that's technically a winning matchup for Abessa. She's gonna outscale him, and then realistically, like Wukong Vi is pretty playable on both sides, but like the Wukong's still pretty great. So if we just maintained a positive game, I think we're in a better spot. So I just had to play smarter, and I think things would have went differently. With that said, though, once they kind of got that lead and Rise got online, it was just pretty much GG.
Yeah. Yeah. This is probably the first game where I'm like it's clearly a draft if, and that it's very hard for you guys to play unless like you're up 5K at 10 minutes,
Yeah,
and it's just not.
it's funny. I don't even know
not
if I'd
happening.
even call it a hard draft if it's just one pick. Like it literally just feels like one pick. If you change this,
If one pick
it,
makes or breaks the draft.
I
Drafting
guess
is an
it.
art, my friend.
I guess. I mean, I guess this is kind of true. Well, it is an art, but I don't know if it completely always breaks a draft necessarily. Like, cause technically with our picks, Akali actually works with our picks. Competently speaking, our picks like the Wukong and Bessa, Rakan, all that. Akali's like, hey, let's go kill people. It's just the problem is she's not like you saying she's not being able to assassinate people like she normally would unless she's pretty strong in this game. That's the problem. She's not great into the enemy team, and it's kind of like the Poppy thing earlier. Like
Uh,
it works, but it doesn't have as much value. Whereas like
yeah, I mean, if you want to go on the approach of like, hey, Akali, Wu, and Bessa can all just like dive in and assassinate somebody, I'm with that. But then Zaya feels really bad because you're just leaving her out to dry.
yeah,
And then, but the other issue then I could counterpoint to that is unless your guys are super ahead, you absolutely have to rely on Baron in this game because you have negative wave clear. And the moment they like win a skirmish fight, get Baron, then it's so hard for you guys to deal with Baron minions as well.
yeah,
It's it's all in on one thematic thing, which is fine. Like those can work. Um, but overall, it's like it's just a really hard draft to play, and they drafted a lot of good responses.
yeah. It's you live, you learn. I think, like I said, taking
Yeah,
away the Rise would have been best because honestly, even if like we did manage to lose the game with the Rise, I still rather have the Rise because the Rise is a good champion, man. Like regardless, he's a great champion right now. So, but it didn't work out. So I don't have much more to say about this game. I'll show you guys the end. I'm not trying to sprint through these games. I don't feel like I am, but I am not trying to like stay on everything. We got a long episode, so when does it end? Does it end right now? 32 minutes. Okay, it's gonna end in a second. All right, cool. Also, a big shout out to Campbell. I already thanked him for playing. I know I thanked him in the chat, but man, thank you so much for coming in. If you happen to somehow catch this episode, if not, just I'm really thankful. He played really, really well and was a lot of fun to play with. So, especially coming off work, um, he definitely wanted to get the win for us. Like he was all in by game 5. The guy's like, come on, let's get this win. Like yeah, he definitely he wanted to see us have the success. So
Campbell's
uh,
one of the goats, man.
yeah, sucks it didn't. It sucks it didn't work out.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He's not even playing support. nowadays, right?
I think he was like jungling actually,
Yeah.
or something like that. He's definitely not playing a lot of support. So, but we can jump into game four. Game four, uh, yeah, man, what a game four. Game four was pretty tight, honestly. Like it was a pretty interesting game. It's so funny. We talked about these picks, and look, they show up. The Anivia plus the Caitlyn here on the side of Mapago. Um, but I actually think the draft was like pretty good at dealing with those two picks. Like we had enough range and tools to get on top of and or just like make their life a living hell. Now they did have like CC. You had Scion, you had Malphite, you had uh, Nico, like to kind of help with the zone control and like the anti-engage from us technically. But like I don't know, it just didn't seem like it worked out. I don't actually understand why it didn't work out still to this moment. Like obviously Azir, Zemo was popping off, but um yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. It was definitely interesting. Like realistically, I feel like Caitlyn and Nivea could play this game, but they couldn't. It's really
This
hard to
Olaf.
explain.
This is a hard. This is a really good Olaf angle. Like I
Yeah,
was very very happy when I seen Olaf. I'm like, that's actually like goated right here.
yeah, it was probably
Um,
his best Olaf pick ever ever. I know
it was a good one.
no one expected me to pick a Maokai, I'm sure. I was Maokaiing it up, man. I was having a good old time playing that champion. That's all I gotta say. It was fun.
Yeah,
I
we
miss
got.
I've missed playing him. He still doesn't feel as good as he used to be by no means, and I still don't think he's an S tier jungler.
I Maokai's useless, but that's just my take.
But he wasn't useless this game, and I don't care what anyone says. He really wasn't.
Uh,
No, he wasn't,
you know
man.
what? I'm kind of with you. Like, you guys played it well, and when you bring out these kind of like edgier picks, I don't think that's the right word, but like I group like a Nidalee, a Lee Sin into that, which obviously you're very well known for your Lee Sin. It's up to can the team play around it, and it definitely felt like this is something you guys have played quite a few times in Flex. Like we can throw Skarner into this area as well. And obviously you were one of the ones really on the Malphite jungle hype train early and continued to play it. So like you guys showed that you can play with this Maokai really well, and there's just no there's a lot of responses from Mapago's comp, but their comp just kind of just sits there and stalls. It doesn't really do anything else. I mean, Scion is your only engage. I mean, Nico can kind of play this engage, but like you're leaving your backline out on an island as well.
Yeah.
And similar to game one, you guys have responses to their engages. So
And the big thing is, and this is why I think the Maokai is so good here, and this is why I was so down to play it. I was like, look, guys, they go in, and I just click Maokai R. What can their Anivia Caitlyn do that don't want to play forward? Like I'm like, what do they do? They click Ace in the hole and shoot you in the face. Don't worry, you got a tree in front of you. like like I'll die. I don't care. I'm throwing abilities. Um, so that's kind of what I felt like was the big reason why Maokai worked so well here. It's kind of why
yeah,
the reason why I used to play um, Gragas into Maokai. What I liked about it was the fact that like he has this long range tool that can be engage or disengage, and it separates the team. So you get less value out of Maokai R. You don't have a lot of stuff to really separate us. We can kind of just play together for the most part. Like I guess a Nevia wall exists, but like we don't have to run away because we see a Malphite. We can just stand strong together and just utilize our engage or disengage tools to make the fight hard for them, and then just kill their Malphite or hit whoever else is showing up to the fun. And then you got Azir. So Azir is just a Chad champion, regardless of he could fall to D tier and it would probably still be a good champion because the champion's dumb. Like it just scales so well and does so much. So they'd have to really nerf the crap out of it to make it useless. I feel like.
yeah. I mean, there's just no way for the backline to get access to Azir here, so he's pretty goated. I did the comment on Anivia is just not good. I don't know what that's going on. I don't even think this Anivia is in the right spot, to be honest. Like, yeah, she beats Azir in lane, but Azir can just stall it out.
Yeah, I
So,
wasn't sure necessarily why they drafted the Nivea, but it does also feel like, and I didn't know that she wins in lane, by the way, but maybe it's
I mean,
just to play with
win is
Caitlyn.
subjective.
Oh, okay, maybe just to play with
Yeah,
the Caitlyn. But then like if you're doing that, I feel like you don't draft Malphite, to be honest. Call me crazy, but I think that actually makes the comp kind of weird then. Like Sion can kind of pseudo engage, pseudo play front line, right? He's really unique. He can just soak up shit. He's happy to soak. So maybe just drafting a different jungler could have made like the difference here.
well, that's one thing I've noticed. Like, since I've been back now in like a team environment, and I have a really insane like my 6-man entity is like super good at drafting, and we've had a lot of talks, and there's really good proactive tanks, which I think like Maokai would kind of fall into that. And there's like really just good frontline tanks that they're just there to soak up damage. Sion is really goated at that. But like a proactive tank would be something like an Ornn, where like if the backline is smacking him, he can at least be threatening to that backline. To where in this type of game, yeah, you have Malphite, but then Sion just like, what does this Sion do? And Azir just sits there, procs lethal tempo off of him, and then runs over a team fight. And the back line is left out to dry because you have Jhin coming over the top. You're worried about Zenma sweeping because again, he's one of the goated Azir players in the server, arguably the best. And like it's just they're there doing nothing. This Anivia can't stop this Olaf after time. Like the wall is great, but you know the the Maokai is also super annoying because Maokai W in the Q stops the Anivia ult, and then you need a second to reset it, which a second is a long time in a team fight.
Yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
just like
There were some plays in the game where they like hard focused me probably once or twice, maybe even three times to be honest. And it was kind of comical because I'm like, all right, well, guys, I'm stalling. Just do whatever you're gonna do because I'm probably dead. And it's like we just win the fight afterwards because they're like trying to burn everything on me, right? Um, so it made it so interesting because that's the thing. Like there's the person that they want to hit. They both play so far. The Zir, like maybe not as far as like Jin, but Jin is like a mile away. Like he does not have to step up ever in this game to play the game. So you're like, all right, so we hit the Maokai. Or we hit the Leona, I guess, if you want, right? But she doesn't even have to play that close. She has solar flare. She can play a little bit at a distance. And so I'm just the one that's like in the front line. They're trying to kill me. I drop my whole kit, and then eventually our team just would kill everybody. It was very interesting. It was a very interesting game. It was certainly fun to play. Uh,
yeah.
but I don't even want to say it was like a missed draft by Mapogo. Honestly, I don't even know if that's the case. We just we just had a good draft. I think is what it came down to. We had a good draft and we played it well. I think if they had drafted this against another team comp, there's a world where they just run over that team comp, right? So
Yeah, I mean it's also game 4 and a best of 5, so champ pools are going to start to come into play really hard, and those type of factors come in. But like to me, if you switch uh like if Hui was available and not used game 2, like this is a pretty good situation for Hui because he can play off what the front line wants to do. This
yeah, he
I've
can.
had so many times as as one of the Anivia guys in the server where it looks good on paper, but then when your whole front line goes forward and you're just sitting there in your back line, you're like, guys, where'd everybody go? As Olaf with Jin over the top is running you the hell over. It's like, what do I do? I think this is looking at how this game played out. It kind of felt like that's what happened a lot of times.
Agreed.
Also, this Anivia build's not great. Oh my.
My stuff froze for a second. I'm like, what is happening? Oh,
This
it's
Anivia
me.
build is actually like this is
Oh,
this is reportable.
oh my god. All right. Let him know. Let him know, man.
I mean, I think the comment is kind of the start of the reporting, but like, dude, you need Leandries and you need anti-healing. Like you ADCs that are forced to buy anti-healing, I think is the biggest trap ever. I know I've had a lot of conversations with Minus about this. He actually hinted at it last night. But if if your ADC has to buy anti-heal, it sucks because Lord Dom's just
Yeah.
so
By
goaded.
the way, the end of the game I think actually was with me getting stepping on a trap, dying, and then us like still winning the game. It was so comical, man. But I also survived way too long. I should have probably died so much quicker, but that stupid new healing item is OP plus my natural healing. Uh
Yeah, you have unending despair, spirit visage protoplasm. Like,
Just,
bro, you definitely need anti-healing just from the items alone.
yeah.
You got
But
Death
dude,
Dance,
I
Raven.
stepped right on a trap with my fat self, and I was like, "Guys, I'm dead here." Like I knew I was dead the moment I stepped on the trap. I'm dead here, by the way. They're like, "All
Yeah,
right, well, we'll fight." I said, "Okay." you know, like I'm tree inting right now. But it was just a
yeah.
bait. It was just the classic. I'm baiting with my tree self. Yeah, it was a fun game. Uh, yeah, last game. Was unfortunate. You know, all I gotta say is hindsight is 2020. But man, I should have just like slammed some sort of carry jungler this last game. Something with damage. I don't know what I was thinking. I wanted to play like something that could it kind of engage for the Kaisa, but I mean I don't think I needed to actually have that hindsight. We picked a row, so I could have just played something else. So I really that's all I gotta say for me personally, for myself here. But our comp was just low damage in terms of like because of the range we had. It was still technically decent amount of damage. I mean we had Gwen Kaisa, like they do pretty good deeps mid late game. And Lissandra's not useless in that category. But like it isn't really like hyper carry damage where they have a Smolder who's gonna hurt really hard late game, and Talia is a hen who would do to me more damage than most of those champions I just named. Um, but yeah, good game from Epico here. I thought the Renata pick was really smart from Nexus, made a lot of sense into our team. Um, so we had some small moments that it looked like we might be coming back, but in the end, it just didn't pan out, and they had like a really nice anti-engage comp. Like, just ignoring the Renata for a second, who's really good at dealing with engage. They also had Skarner, who actually can still play a pseudo style with Atalia too. So it was a really nice draft from them. And if we're gonna engage, I just needed to pick something that you did get in there and kill people more instead of playing some Sejuani tank. But I like my Sejuani sometimes, and it is what it is.
Yeah, this again, I alluded to it last draft. I think this is where champ pools kind of come into play because um, I would have uh minded something like even if a Vi is here to try and really get on top of the Smolder,
Yeah,
dive buddy with
I
Sandra's
dude,
pretty good.
I have like 6, 7 more picks to like that would have been happy to
Yeah.
play this game. I just was like, well, we need something to set up the Kaisa because we want to go to Kaisa draft, and that's where my mind was. And the funny stuff was, I actually like did good stuff early. That's the crazy part of
Mhm.
the whole thing. Like, I did do good stuff. I had level 3 getting top. I got a nice gank off mid. Like we were having some success in the early game. It's just I don't know. I just was like thinking this is what I need to do with the Kaisa, but I could have picked a Neferi here. I would have been happy to play Neferi here. There wasn't that much to be annoying. Sure, a little bit would be
Mhm.
the Talia later on, but I would have played around it. It's not impossible to play around. Um,
I
and it's really good for killing Smolder. By the way, it's really good in the Smolder.
Yeah, but then you got Renata on the backside. Like, okay, cool. You
Yeah, I mean you
killed.
got Renata, but Neferi is an assassin, by the way. She does one shot people, and if you utilize your W correctly, you're not gonna really let them get resets back. Plus, would have
I
a flying in Lissandra for me. So,
I
um,
actually think I would have went the other way. Like, I think Sejuani's fine. I don't know about the Gwen. I think it could have been something super dedicated to split push to try and break up this team comp. Like, I actually low key think like Trundle in the jungle actually could have been like decent too. Like something to help like Trundle Pillar does set up Kai'Sa very well. Getting rid of the resistances, both of them, which Kai'Sa really enjoys being a mixed damage carry.
Yeah.
Um, Lysandra can play with the Rel. Like I actually don't. I think between you and Vic's pick, like you had to one of you guys had to stay on theme, and the other guy could have had the pick of the litter. Um,
Well,
in
I
regards to
think
that,
Gwen does do that split push thing. The problem is he gets like this is the actual problem. He gets this first blood, right? And then he does nothing with the first blood. We can't have that happen. The Gwen was the win count in this game. If she's ahead, she's gonna be able to split hard. It's gonna be hard for Sehen to just deal with her for free if she's really strong. Like that's all it came down to. And we didn't utilize that lead that was given to us, right? We got the lead, we took care of it, and then the Gwen does not get off the ground like it's supposed to after getting first blood. That is innately a problem within itself. So I'm fine with Gwen. She's our heavy magic damage dealer. She can deal with she pretty much 1v2 if she's strong enough for most of the game. It's really hard for them to just kill her if she's like OP, right? Uh, so I don't have a problem with the Gwen. Really, the comp isn't horrible. Like if you really break it down, it's just I feel like I sell myself short by picking a Sejuani pick there because there's still other things that could play around the Kai'Sa too that could have worked. That's what I'm basically getting at. And um, if I give myself more tools to be a part of that instead of just saying, "Hey, this is everybody else's job. This is not my job this game. I'm just the tank." Like that just felt like I went the wrong direction as a player, and I just felt like again I wasn't thinking of the options until after the fact. It is game 5. You're not thinking of everything you could play. I would have just been better picking something that can actually do some damage and separate a fight a bit. I just pointed out Neferi as an option. There's tons of other stuff. I'd be cool to play Zed there. I'd be cool to play. Um, God, shit, I would have even sent it to Diana. Like I don't care. I would have sent so many picks. I'm happy to send. Now Diana plus Lysandra plus Gwen would have been troll, but at that point I'm sure we would have picked something else and not Gwen. So, um,
see, like I'm looking at this and I'm like, for top lane, like Camille just goes so hard here because you
yeah,
have the split pushing a little bit. I don't know how Camille versus Zahen like goes. It's not something I see that often, but it's Camille with the lockdown. Even if Smolder gets away, it's cool. Camille are separating her from her team. It is nice, for the second that it does it, but it's also now a Bash brother with setting up Kai'Sa, setting up Lysandra. Like you have 4 direct accesses to the back line. Like right now you have Dive with Rel, Sejuani, Lysandra, Kai'Sa. Like they're all setting up Dive, and this Gwen's just like, I'm here to basically like split push slash front to back.
yeah,
It's the Gwen is to me like what's really really off theme, and Gwen also takes so long to get like going. She's so item dependent. You can either go Nashers, you can go Dusk and Dawn. Like she wants so many items. It makes me think of like a Jinx, where it's like the moment she gets all of these, man, she's holding the Affinity Stones and she's freaking Thanos. But until then, it's like, all right, I'm kind of on this Gwen timer. Cool.
yeah. That's why I knew that Gwen was kind of the win con and why I was doing what I did early to really throw it off. It didn't work out, you know. There's things that we could have done better in the game, things we could have done better in the game 5 draft. But I always allude back to game 1. It's just if this is the series, like game 1 was the one where I feel like we had the best chance of winning of the 3 games we lost, and we had a great like situations a couple different times in that game, and we just kind of ruined them with either wrong calls, mispositioning, or whatever else. You know, everything just kind of compiled in that game 1, kind of showed its reared its ugly head, like we've had all split. So, um, you know, it is what it is. But hats off to Maple Go, and this is why they were able to face who they face Hidden Leaf the following week, which has me thinking, guys. I just thought about this while I've been doing this episode as I'm ending this. I don't even know where this ends, so I'm just gonna let it play. Um, why don't we jump into the Mapago vs Femboy series and just keep on trend instead of going into what is the next in the play-in series. I like that idea. It kind of spices it up, spices up the episode. So we'll go ahead and do that. How's that sound, CLT? You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's
Hidden
your
Leaf.
show. I'm
No,
down for
no, no.
whatever.
You are a part of this. You run this stuff just as much as me. Get out of here. All right. So yeah. We're gonna jump into that series next. Then it didn't go the full distance, but in tune with the Mapago squad, they did make sure it wasn't a 3-0. Just like they're usually pretty good about making sure they don't get 2-0'd. They were up to that task at least. And I think they certainly put up a decent fight here against Hidden Leaf. I gotta find this series. I think it's this one. Wait, there it is. Yep, Hidden Leaf. So make sure I'm on the right game for game one. There's a Shen in the game and a Smolder. Okay, this is not it. Wait, what? Wait. Did I click on the wrong Hidden Leaf versus Mapago? I'm showing Shen. Which one's the Shen game? Oh, there it is. It is game one. All right, I'm tweaking, guys. Don't mind me. You're probably all laughing at me at the other side of the screen. Yeah, here we go. So, this ends up being a win. So this is a game one win. So this is a game one win for Mapogo.
Yep.
That's wild. So this ends up being not a reverse sweep, but it's a reverse in a sense. Reverse gentleman's. It's a reverse gentleman's is what we'll call this. But yeah, so looking at the comps here, Smolder coming out here in game one of all things. I think Smolder's gotten stronger, so I do think he's at least moving up a bit. I don't know if he's still game one champion in my opinion, but when you're drafting Yunara and Smolder in game one, I guess all bets are off. That's kind of a small brain thing to draft the Yunara, but I've come to realize Yunara is not the best game one pick usually. There's better ADCs than her early on. I think she's way better in the series, but getting both of these we'll say tier 2 AD carries out of the way. I think they're good like game 2, game 3. So they both get picked here in game 1. Smolder had a good game. Aki 11 and 5 and 9 played pretty well. We get a Toji support right here, and it's a Galio of all things. A very unique pick. We haven't seen Galio in support in a while. On the other side, though, Mr. Buffa had himself a wonderful game. He's had himself a wonderful split. He definitely had a really nice series against us. Lead here 10-4-19 on the Wukong. Pretty good Wukong game. I think that's not a bad pick to pick that. I don't know if that was picked into the Nocturne or not, but I do like that with the Nocturne. Plus, you get Wukong Ori. It's a classic setup. And then Tango and Nexus just, dilly-dallying there on the bot side of the map. Maybe not their cleanest games, but I'm sure that Tango did do the deeps, and Nexus brought the CC. So, but yeah. What are your thoughts? I know there's a Xerath there too, but I'm not gonna bring that up until you kind of talk about it. So, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm absolutely big fans, big homies with the Hidden Leaf guys, and that dates back to scrimming against him with Froggy. I don't want to say discovered this combo because it's a known combo for a while, but the potency of this combo with Nocturne Xerath, I did kind of pass off to them. So I'm gonna low-key take a touch of credit for that. We ran that in scrims I think twice, and it's really, really good. Topping that off with the Nocturne Galio is nice as well. I think they played this comp in the right spot. Yunara has mobility, but let's be honest, it's not Vayne levels of mobility. And she does have a lot of shit she's got to dodge in the sense of Smolder ult coming down, Nocturne coming in, Galio ult coming on top of it. So, her trying to dance around these Xerath shots in the mid to late game, it becomes hard. You also have very, very easy access into the Orianna, during the level 6 to 9 range when the deep laning phases can happen. Because all of these lanes want to just kind of scale, get to their breakpoints, and then kind of start the fight. Outside of maybe Shen Mordekaiser, which Mr. Buffa keeps continuing to show that the Shen should probably be banned from him. He He's very proactive and knows that champion quite well. Like reminds me of Brandino on Shen. But I love this combo. The only thing I would have liked to seen, because in draft I'm like I think Hidden Leaf won this draft, but then watching it play out, I will gladly admit that I was mistaken. I think having some form of a super tank up top instead of the Mordekaiser delays that back line and gives them a chance to output damage to the opposing back line. So I do feel like that's what was needed, but we seen glimpses of like what this duo of Xerath Nocturne can do. And I just think they just played Mapago's style of game here. Mapago's very skirmish heavy. They like to play fast, play with a little bit of touch of chaos to them, and they're really good at that. Where Hidden Leaf wanted to play this draft a little bit slower. I mean, we see 8-6 here, 8.5 minutes. You got 3 kills on Xerath, 4 kills on Smolder. You're wondering like, oh my god, this game's kind of unlosable. Excuse me here, but yeah, I just think they played it a little too fast, and they just didn't have the front line to soak the kind of counterattack that Hidden Leaf wanted to throw at them. So
Yeah. I think too something to note, and I've had this take now for some time, and I know people may or may not agree with me on this, but Smolder being ahead is really really good because I think Smolder is for one. I don't not saying. Let me clarify when I say this. Every ADC, literally every ADC in the game is technically a late game champion. Quotes. Okay, I'm putting quotes on this. Smolder reminds me of Nasus. He's really 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 good in the mid game. But it's not that he falls off late, but I think there's things that scale better than him in the late game, even regardless of his execute. And to me, Yunara is one of those. I think Yunara is on that par with like the Jinxes and the Twitches and the Kogmas of the world. Like if she just Zeri even if she just gets to free hit the game, like at all, if she just gets to auto attack, bro. Like that champion's insane. Smolder still plays around abilities, still plays around certain things in his kit, and whatever like that. Like it's really hard to explain sometimes, and maybe people will just say I'm crazy for this take. They'll be like, Jake, you're ridiculous. But um, yeah, I find Smolder to be really really good mid game. So for him to have this lead and be 4-0, like I do agree, this game should be over because that just means he gets to his mid game power spike even harder, and there's a good chance with how he's getting kills and stuff, he's probably gonna get his stacks quicker too. And if he gets like a 20-minute stacks, that sounds disgusting. I don't know when he gets it, but just like based on the trajectory, I'm sure he was on that, on that road to just GGing this game pretty fast. So, um, that's kind of my kind of takeaway on the Smolder. It's not that again he doesn't scale because he does. That's not to be ridiculous not to say that. It's just like Nasus. Nasus infinitely scales, guys. But do you guys really think Nasus is better late game than I don't know? Just find some other top laner. There's top laners that are better than him late game. I just don't have anything in my head right now. Like, I honestly I'll take a Scion over the Nasus late game.
mm,
I just will.
I don't know. I think they're far enough apart that I think context of the rest of the draft matters. But I don't disagree. I do think Smolder can hit that like mid to like early late game, if that makes sense, better than some ADs. But as far as like actual true front to back, I do think their Smolder can be a touch overrated there, especially against like more drain tanky opponents like a Mundo, like a Skarner, who like Skarner not necessarily being known for like a true drain tank, but like she cycles through his shields quite a bit. Mundo obviously has insane health regen in team fights. That like those type of tanks, Smolder has a hard time to deal with. Stuff that can't threaten it. Smolder acts like a Zir in the case of like if the front line can't hit back, then Smolder absolutely loves it. Azir absolutely loves it as well.
Yeah.
Um, so in that regard, like I said, I don't disagree with you. I do think Smolder does uniquely pair well with artillery mages like the Xerath, like the Ziggs. Um, in that regard, because he does bring some of the tank shredding that those champions aren't known for bringing, and can also like the Q bounce into the backline has this kind of Sivir type type of effect as well, where you hit front line, it can splash the back line. But I think it's uniquely like overrated, but yet a little underrated. It's just very dependent on the team comps.
Yeah. Hey, Sivir's another one,
Overall,
by the way. Sivir's such a late game freaking monster. It's ridiculous, man. So,
yeah,
if honestly, if Sivir didn't have any range problems at all, like if she didn't have the fact that she's a mid-range ADC, if you made her like the range of more similar to a Jinx or a Caitlyn, but maybe still a little more in between somehow, she might just be one of the most broken ADCs ever. Like if she get the late game, she's pretty ridiculous. Um, but yeah, it's just my take on that. But I agree with what you're saying, and um, really, this game just like kind of a wild game to just like think about. Anytime you have a significant lead and you don't like exploit that, because you get a 4 kill Smolder, a 4 kill Xerath. Your carries are huge. It's just
yeah.
literally leads Wukong. That's really, really, really strong. I guess the Shen is kind of there too, but like, what is Shen really gonna? He ain't split pushing against a Mordekaiser, you know. So
I mean, well, Buffa Shin probably could.
maybe
Um,
Buford Shen could, yeah.
yeah, but the Shin is just a Bash brother with Wukong. He just gives Wukong an even bigger green light to do whatever.
Green light,
Yeah,
red
because
light. Sorry.
that's what ended up happening. There was a fight actually I just witnessed here at like the 13-minute mark
You backtracking
where
me? Is that the one that I think I already watched? I have a feeling I already watched
the
it.
the river fight,
Yeah, down
bot
by
lane
bot
river
side.
fight.
Bot side.
Yeah, like this is a prime example
Yeah,
of just like
yeah, we watched that.
Mapago keeping this game fast, using the Shen proactively with leads Wukong, and ultimately throwing the first punch. And Hidden Leaf doesn't have anything in the draft that can absorb it. You could say Galio, but let's be honest, Galio and the support role is not a tank. Like tank supports to me are not. They're there to absorb like the half punch and help create space. They're
Yeah,
enablers for other tanks. They're not true tanks. Uh,
yeah. I mean, most of them aren't. I think Leona is pretty much the probably the truest form, and
Well,
Alistar
because
as well.
Leona plays like proactive. Like
Yeah,
if you can still catch a Leona out. Aftershock tanks, you do have windows where you can't just make a first move against them. They proc the aftershock and then they're Thanos for a few seconds. But after aftershock drops, like, are you scared of a Leona? Because aftershock paired with W, they have similar cooldowns.
yeah,
Once they're both down, Leona just blows the hell up.
yeah. But I honestly kind of think that's almost every tank in the game at this point. No tank is safe, man. It's rare to see one that's not just get one shot. Like Mundo late game doesn't get one shot because of his healing and stuff, but
Yeah.
or unless he doesn't click R, I guess. But
Oh, healing's just broken.
yeah,
Period.
I think his W might be more broken than his actual ult. I've been playing him
Yeah.
more, and I'm like, oh my god, the champion's cracked. So, anyways, though, that's enough from us about this tank stuff.
Sorry.
Let's finish up this game and let's get to game two. When does this game end? Actually, I don't know the timestamp. It's a really long game, 37 minutes. Uh, it's kind of crazy. Do we even get a soul? Like, I actually gotta watch this end real quick. Do we get a soul? Like, we're paused on screen with Lejay and Seth. They're looking at stuff here. Okay, they're gonna slow it down for us. So we get a fight around the soul, but I think that this game just ends. We don't actually get a soul. That's kind of funny. That's what it looks like. Interesting. Well, welcome to League of Legends, I guess. Oh no, I closed out the wrong one, guys. Oops. Gotta open game two. Up. um, here we go. All right. So game two. Let me make sure that's the correct game two. All right. So it features a Fiora. Yep, that's it. Gojo gets his Fiora. That's something. This
Yep.
guy's been getting this champion a lot lately. It seems like. Yeah, he's a really good Fiora player. 5-3-5 on that. I like. I really like the draft here out of um, a Hidden Leaf. Though the Silas support isn't my favorite. Everything else is great though. I didn't even notice the Silas support. I looked down there. I'm like, wait a second. Wait, it might have worked, but I don't like it. There's a Malphite in the game though, so I guess I get it. You just wanna take his all. You don't care where it's coming from. You want the champion doing that type of stuff. I wonder if that tricked Mapogo. Was this like an R5 or no? This they both
Yes,
ran.
this was an R5 Silas.
It was an R5. That is crazy, bro.
Mhm.
That is crazy. So they're like, this is not happening. Also,
Hmm.
Orange Jungle from Lead, that's cool. I played it the other day actually with the Leaf guys. I actually had a lot of fun with the Orange Jungle. I still love that gem. Um, interesting. That's very interesting. But I don't like their draft. I mean, the Malphite's cool, the Aurora's cool. I don't like the draft though. I think Orange just doesn't stick well into this um specific comp. I'd like to see something else here out of Lead, and I know he's got other tools that he could potentially pull out. So very interesting. I guess the spice of life. You won game one, so you're like, screw it, let's pull something unique out game two. What's
I mean, I would be curious to find out because Ornn was an R3. I'm sorry, B3, and then responded R3 Fiora. If Bufa was like, I cannot play this matchup, lead, take it. Because I'm in agreement. I like the Malphite. It is a known Fiora counter if you know the matchup. But looking at what Hidden Leaf picked, I'm like, Vi is so good here.
Yeah, I think
Um,
they had it banned. Unfortunately, they banned the lead out pretty heavily. Um,
oh yeah, Vi Lee Sin was taken out.
yeah,
And they
I
banned the
uh,
Jarvan as well.
I, I mean, like, I'm sure he's got more of that than just that. I mean, we saw him playing some different things the previous week, but nonetheless, like, is Ornn into Fiora that unplayable? Like, I've seen some
I,
of it. I don't think it is personally.
every time I treat Ornn like a super tank that he is, then you watch Ornn mains and OTPs just like one shot Jaxes and Fioras and even Renekton's, and I'm like, okay, this champion is just like does it all. It's like Cassante levels of like you can tell who can play it and who can't.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe he felt like because he knows uh Goji was a Fiora OTP. Maybe he's like, I want nothing to do with that matchup. Lead, you're stuck with this Ornn now. Um, but I,
You,
it's just you have two super tanks on the top side of the map against a Fiora.
you know what's crazy?
Okay.
And I know Brandino would be the one to do it because he's the one that plays Aurelia. But call me crazy, but I almost feel like people need to pick this champion up because you got these random Fiora players in the league, and Fiora's probably one of the more competitive like picks you can pull out of the four sisters because I don't. It's just Camille, right? It's the other one. You're not really playing Riven almost ever, and no one's really ever gonna pick Aurelia. But I feel like because Aurelia is pretty good into Fiora, no.
Oh, that's the four sisters. Okay, can we have call it five with Mbessa then?
Well, Ambessa's new. No, you can't because the four horsemen. So the whole thing is the four sisters. You can't have five. That's not how that works. Sorry, Ambessa just came late. She came late, bro. Um,
What I never heard a term the four sisters. That's
if
clever.
I could swear that Aurelia was good into Fiora, if I remember correctly. So I don't know.
Mm,
Just I guess the point I'm trying to make though is just pick something just to match this guy's like this pick's like um vitality a bit, and just send it. Like if you're actually gonna counter pick it, why even pick Malphite? Just send something that can just beat Fiora up, man. Like truly beat her up. That's just my mindset. I'll be honest. Like hand check him, I guess is what I'm saying. Hand check him,
I
man. Gojo's a great
maybe
player, but I'd still hand check him. I just
good luck.
these top players. Mr. Move is good too, man. Go hand check people. I don't know. You just kind of pigeonhole yourself sometimes when you're picking certain picks. Because yeah,
That I do
wins, but
agree.
like if you can like stomp the Fiora in lane and just make it unplayable for her, oh man, that's a dream come true. That's all I'm trying to say.
That's what I would have thought because Bufa is a fantastic Ornn player. He's constantly getting it banned away from him. Like, just eat the matchup. Um, you know, friggin' cloth four pot it, and then build the bramble and lane. Like, it's, there's probably ways to just tech through that matchup a little bit, and then have a Vi, have a well, they're both banned, but there's probably something that Led could have picked to like, yo, I'm bought the top. You don't have to worry about this Fiora yet. We're keep her down.
Yeah, there's still stuff. Or this is too. 2 games, right? We're in game 2. Like, there's definitely some stuff left in the jungle pool. Yeah, there's 3 junglers banned at least. I mean, maybe more if they banned some too on the other side, but there's a bunch still available and that would have been picked and playable. Um, so, I mean, hindsight's 2020. I guess we won't
Yeah,
stay
yeah, for sure.
stuck on the thing. I don't know. I see this Fiora thing and I'm like, I know people. I know these top laners are skillful enough to actually beat a Fiora, right? So just like pick something that actually can kind of duel her because she doesn't have things that she's not the like she's unkillable duelist. You know what I mean? Is what I'm saying. I guess what I'm leaning towards. She does have other counters that can duel her, and it's not tanks. Like tanks are fine in her. They can survive. You know, Malphite's obviously good because he can just build Bramble, and usually he's not killable. Usually, right? We just saw him die
I'm
though.
I'm looking I'm looking back at this and I'm like, Boofa, why don't you play the asshole card as well and just take this Aurora top lane? Like, you
True.
know, you just wave clear against Fiora. What is she gonna do?
Yeah, but then it's the argument of why take that out of Samlad after his game last week too. That could be the argument at
I
the time.
mean, if you don't want the Orin, uh, take the Aurora top, and then you're completely wide open.
Yeah.
Fiora in this comp is like the only front line. Granted, she is a split pusher, but mages can clear waves just as good. It's like there's still limited proactiveness out of Hidden Leaf's draft, and you're not like if you take Aurora top, then Malphite's not in the game. They don't pick Silas, and then who knows how proactive their draft is to
Yeah, but
begin with.
also I
But
doubt they ever knew this Silas pick was coming, bro. That's crazy.
does the Silas pick come if Ornn or Aurora goes top? No, it's strictly a Malphite counter.
Yeah, but like
So
Silas support though, like who sees
the
that
only
angle?
the only because there's a Malphite.
Yeah, but
Like this is a
Silas
perfect Silas support game.
Silas should get punished in lane theoretically. I mean, I would think, but maybe I'm wrong.
Not not when they invade like level 3 and he gets first blood with a Kaza
Oh, true.
and
That
lead
was the thing.
is
I got to
lead
note
is
like
left.
Leafs control of the Drakes are crazy. They got 3 Drakes at it's like 16 minutes. That's kind of hard, man. I
Yeah.
gotta give them props. They definitely controlled the game, but Ornn also doesn't really set you up for like Drakes out of the jungle. It's more of a scaling pick, and you fight around with the team. It's a fun pick though. I'm telling you, Ornn is a fun champion to play. So if
Do
you're a
you play him with
jungler,
spellbook?
no, did he play with Spellbook? Is that what he had?
I think he did.
Oh, that's crazy. No, I think I go Aftershock. Aftershock or Grasp. One of the two. Depends on the game.
I gotta pull up the in-game screen. I have it right
Dude, if he has
here.
Unsealed Spellbook, that's a crazy pull.
Yes, yes, he does his spellbook.
Lead, you're crazy, man. You're crazy.
That's the Orin tech.
Not for me. That's not what I'm running. I'm just gonna run the.
That was actually double spellbook. Nexus brought spellbook on Rakan as well.
This dude's
I
wild. The Spellbook
I actually
boys.
wait. I like that. Hey, I play spellbook on Anivia every now and then. It's still
Yeah,
goaded.
it can be good for sure. So I get where you're going with this.
And the like super beefy team comps, like okay, one fight I have heal, one fight I have exhaust for the diver, one fight I have ghost. Good luck chasing this slow ass bird.
Yeah,
It's got some pretty goaded uses.
but yeah, that means they get Soul at like what 22 minutes, 22 and a half minutes. I mean that's pretty gross, and it's a Chemtech Soul too. Ugh, absolutely massive. Yeah, no wonder why this game was a pretty relatively quick game because Elder is also a thing. Do they get Elder in this game? When is the Elder
Uh,
spawn? Let's see.
don't think so.
No. It's not on the
No,
map
they did
quite yet.
not.
No, it did spawn though. You're forced to fight for Elder
Yes.
though. And that's a big thing too. You're forcing on an Elder fight at a pretty good timer. It's a team I do think scales pretty well, but the Jinx kind of outscales them too. I don't know, man. That's actually so bad they got behind early at this comp. Even though they can just kill Jinx for free with all their abilities to just jump on her face, I just don't think it matters because Fiora is gonna scale pretty nicely too. Oh man, that's so rough. Good game out of Leaf. That's all I gotta say. fun picks out of Mapago, and I'm glad they got to have some fun with that game too, because I'm sure they did. With unique picks at least. But yeah, let's go ahead and move into game 3. Gojo Akaza. Are we surprised? Told you with a nice game too, 0-1-20. But yeah, 9-0-3 on the Renekton, 11-0-7 on Akaza. On the Zehen, absolutely disgusting. Really, their entire team played pretty much almost flawless, right? 3 deaths in the game. I'm sorry, 4 deaths. My math was wrong there. Yeah, 4 deaths in the game. That's absolutely insane. On the other side, Mapago, they were able to push this game to 28 minutes, but I almost wonder if that was just the fact that they're really. I mean, maybe like it's hard to siege with that comp. I guess. I guess. Is it hard to siege with Silver Syndra? I don't know. I'm just trying to like figure out why this game didn't end at like 22 minutes or something.
Hard to siege. I mean, they got decent wave clear, but Mapago has ways of starting fights with the Twitch.
Yeah.
Like there's like Twitch adds that randomness disruption to a fight.
Yeah, Tango really liking this Twitch by the way right now. That's his third
I
time
think
picking
it's
it
pretty good.
in 3 straight weeks. But I'm gonna make a crazy argument here. I'm gonna make a crazy argument about the Switch. I think it's gotten progressively worse week in and week out. I think it was a really good pick the first week, a surprise pick, also really good in December. So I guess that's why I picked it here. It seems like it could be unplayable, but the Braum pick kind of neutralizes it if the Braum is with the Sivir in the game. Um, then the next week it was a bit of a closer game. It's there was some stuff that it didn't look as good, and then this week happens. So maybe we chill on the Twitch a bit. As I say that, Tango is gonna pick it in a couple weeks. He's gonna be like, "No, I don't care what you say. I'm picking it again."
I mean, again, it comes. Their team knows how to play with the Twitch. The other teams are getting smarter, and it's on their radar. So I do think the surprise factor is a pretty big point to that. But
Yeah, I think that matters a lot actually because there's gonna be so many good angles for Twitch. I almost wonder because this is the second time Brahms been picked into it, and it was obviously good when we picked into it as well. I almost wonder if you just wait for the Braum to go away. Just let the Braum sail on Wayward Sun, and then you have a better Twitch angle. Because after that, I mean, there's really not that much that really deals with them unless you play hyper engage onto the Twitch, right? So, but with the Lulu, like, it kind of helps with that as well too. So it's very interesting. I don't know. Just something I'm noting. That's all. I'm just noting it. I'm just putting in the note catalog. It's not necessarily like 100% factual here. Like the Tango's Twitch is bad or something. I'm not saying that. Or everyone just caught on 100% and just completely dropped the pick. It's just interesting. It's gotten worse each week. The pick has, from what I've seen of it. So
I like it. I'm actually becoming a Twitch fan.
he's a Twitch fan. All right, everybody pick Twitch. If you don't pick Twitch game 1 this week, you're trolling. Tomorrow, both games, both series. I want to see it. Sunday, the series in the Herald League. I want to see it.
We'll see. I mean, I'm just a fan of it. I like it.
Okay.
I think it's a different scaling ADC that's not friggin' Jinx, and it adds a little bit of chaoticness that teams can sometimes struggle with. So I do agree, like probably waiting for Braum to get removed is a nice safe bet, but also even if I'm Braum, Twitch Lulu, like I don't even think it's the Twitch you're worried about it. You can play around the Braum E cooldown quite extensively. It's not that hard.
Yeah. I get you. I do get you. But what else? What else can happen in this game? CLT, you got any information? It seems to be the biggest stop of the series so far. So I don't know if there's any cool fun facts you got about Game 3 for us.
No, this game could have been an email.
This has been his response when he doesn't want to talk about games, guys. I just want you to know he tells me prior to things like I don't want to talk about this game, so I'm just gonna say.
Bro, 28 minutes, 29-4. Like I don't this.
I like how he doesn't
Just
deny it.
don't.
By the way, he didn't even deny it.
No,
Like
I'm not.
I'm 100% memeing. He never told me this was his code word. He's not denying it. It's kind of messed up,
I'd
man.
like I'm I'm at 9 minutes and see 3 kills on a Kaza, and everybody who has watched Hidden Leaf, if you see a Kaza with a lead, bet you can guess how this game's gonna go.
Akaza's
And
running it down. We already know what's gonna happen. Akaza, you're watching this episode. I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna run it down. God, you're the worst jungler in the league. Get rid of this
he
guy.
he ran it. It just wasn't down. He ran the game. And then Goji got ahead. Thidius, one of the picks he's known for is a Syndra. Um, it just it's hard. Twitch Lulu had themselves a good laning phase, had themselves like a good game, but it's the solo queue gripe that all bot lanes have. We win lane, we're doing well, we got counter pick, we're feeling fantastic, and then we press tab and we're like, okay, what can I do there? So
There's a fed
it,
jungler coming to kill me. Yeah, but you,
there's a of all junglers, Zaheen with a Braum that's gonna jump to him and stun you instantly with animation cancel. It's,
yeah,
it's a Kaza reminding the league that he's a Kaza, the former, or he's the reigning MVP, and sorry guys, this Twitch comp is not gonna work. Twitch also doesn't have a big super tank to play behind, so that feels bad.
yeah.
It's what do you do?
Wait, are they showing this because Panther got canceled? I'm kind of curious.
What's the timestamp?
No, he didn't get canceled. Okay, it was at 16 minutes. I was wondering if Panther and Alt got canceled by Talia Wall. I was about to be like, oh no.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, that would be pretty comical. That'd be a way to like lose the game or have your game messed up, man. So
That would start a crash out for sure.
if I was lead, I would find my Arthedius at that point.
Yep.
Well, I will show the end of the game. Yeah, I'm certainly impressed that they sorted it out. I wonder if was there like a Baron steal or something in here? Like Soul also early is gonna hurt, and it's a Heztech Soul, which really sucks. That's brutal. I'm backtracking to Baron. Like, oh no, never mind. Hidden Leaf had Baron. Okay, yeah. Just I don't know why they stalled the game. I guess the Twitch being ahead early helped. But yeah, let's jump into game 4. Here we go. Game 4 was a little longer here, 32 minutes. But results are the same. Olaf was picked in the top lane. We know historically how we feel about Olaf. We've seen it picked here and there, and sometimes have success. Vic last week in the play-ins had some success with the pick, but generally speaking, I know me and you don't like it too much. I don't know how it is into Aatrox, but I just feel like Aatrox outscales regardless. Akaza taking Mbessa jungle, which is something unique. We don't see a lot. Sucks though. Lead gets a really good pick here, something that's kind of OP right now, the Neferi, but wasn't able to produce enough on it. He seems like he's pretty strong, based on having 6 kills in the game, but just was not enough. It's certainly not even an impossible Neferi game to play right here. Like there's some CC, but you can dodge like 90% of it pretty easily with your W. So maybe just not enough to set up the Neferi. Neferi wouldn't have mind like.
How about none?
Yeah, actually, they're kind of none. You're right. Like,
Sorry, I'm not letting this one escape. There's no setup for this Neferi
yeah,
at
actually, what
all.
the heck, man? Neferi could have rolled
It's
over this game.
I Bro, if you're gonna go all in with this like melee top side, just pick Neela and just let's Neela Samira, let's just go to town and just make this the biggest ARAM game we can. But dude,
Well,
you have no wave clear up top. You have no setup for Neferi. Mel sucks the lane into, but just eat a shit lane and like Lissandra, even a Nivea can make it into a farm lane. Hell, the Asol is not terrible here either. Um, I don't know. This is another Akali pick that I question mark ping.
maybe this one even more, actually, to be honest with you. And the reason why I say that is because you're trying to assassinate a Mel, which is not easy because you need your E a lot of times, especially in the earlier parts of the game. and you're trying to assassinate the this bot lane who actually have really good CC, and your kind of abilities are pretty telegraphed. I'd say as a Kali, like not 100%. Your alt's got some unique outplay ability there, but again, your E, it's like, oh, I'm flying with my E. Well, you better E cancel with your R because you're gonna get hit with a chain of corruption right to your face, and then you're just gonna take your HP bar, and it's gonna suck. Life's gonna suck.
But by the way, Akali does beat Mel in the early levels, but Mel
Oh,
can just make it a
yeah,
farming lane.
yeah. There you go. It's something I didn't know, but I felt like it's still not that easy. So that's
Well, it's very equivalent to the Akali Azir matchup. Yes, Akali can bully out Azir if Azir just tries to trade, make it into a farm lane, push it in, have some jungle support there for trades, and like Azir just outscales. The wall's useful. I mean, yeah, I imagine you know all about that with Zenma.
yeah, of course.
Like,
Oh,
like is Zenma
nice,
worried about Akali?
nice,
No.
nice, nice cue there out of the Bard. Yeah, and it's funny. I don't even know if I like the Bard this game. To be honest, like it's not bad if like they're jumping on somebody with like the full kit. I guess like with a virus in
I
the
guess
game, it's not
it's,
horrible actually. But like
I guess
I don't know.
that's their way of starting a fight.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
guess I just man, you know what? You could probably leave the Bard, but you really need something different top, and probably something different mid. Like oh, I love you guys. I love
To
you
be
guys.
to
I love
be
you
to
guys,
be
but
fair,
this is
like
not it.
Bufa was getting off good trades, but Akaza just visited top so much that then Goji started to run that lane down.
Yeah, but imagine if you're playing a pick that's like useful, like regardless of being behind is basically a part of it too. But I don't feel this comp is about Olaf. This comp is about Neferi. Like the moment you pick Neferi, most Neferi comps are, I'm Neferi, play for my
I'm the main
resets.
character.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Basically, is what I'm getting at. Um, I feel like you just need to set lead up, and lead's a good player, man. He can get it going. I mean, he got that double kill early. Like you just give him the tools, and I do think he can have success. But it all depends on how you decide to draft around the pick, and unfortunately, I don't think they drafted well enough around him, even though he was 3-0 at 6.5 minutes in the game. He still might have been able to carry, but I mean, he's the only one that's like really ever gonna do anything, and they're just gonna hard focus him every fight. Like that's just what he's just gonna get hard focused. So it's unfortunate. You have any more takes over there? You're kind of quiet.
No, I really don't. I know Leshay and Seth kind of dragged me into the caster booth this one, so I this is the game I remember obviously the most, and it against a full melee team comp with no hard engage, Hidden Leaf, even if they were behind, it's kind of akin to what I said about like your guys' Akali pick. It's they have ways of stalling the game,
Yeah.
and there's no way of like breaking that stall. And Baron minions are then going to come into play against 3 melee. Everybody's going forward. Tango Fish is like, what the hell do I do with this, Fed and Bessa in the back line? And there is a lot of CC that they're running into, and Mel E, Chains of Corruption. They don't. I mean, I guess Neferi could go Serpent's Fang, so they do have an outlet there to battle against the Karma, but Goji teching into this matchup with Ignite Phase Rush, not much Olaf can do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel that. Interesting choice of phase rush too, and obviously it worked, but it's certainly unique. So, I do want to highlight something I just saw, and I'm gonna let it play out here. But Baron Steel here from lead that will help you stall a game for sure. Big moments like that, and being able to smite
that's
away
right,
from
he did.
Akaza. So, good for
Yeah, he
him.
did grab that.
I'm impressed he's able to make it. I think it's got to be Tempered Fate. Yeah, there it is. Tempered Fate. Nexus the goat. Take care of business. So crazy he gets that smite. It would have been really good if somehow they won the fight afterwards, but unfortunately they don't. Oh, Kazu's just too fed, man. Well, I guess they do win the fight actually. Her cousin ends up dying. Triple kill for Kate. Man, this game could have been a comeback actually. Like that's so much gold they just got off that. That's actually kind of surprising. They're not able to pull the comeback out. But I guess again it kind of comes down to the same thing that we kind of talked about with the draft. It was always going to come down to that. So, but well, and Mountain Soul is kind of rough too. I'm gonna let this game play, guys, and we're gonna go into the next series. I think we've spent enough time talking about Mapago and their journey to face Hidden Leaf, and now we're gonna talk about Femboy's journey to face Scorch, and see if they have a better turn of events. You know, like, almost like I set this up all of a sudden, man. Like I planned this out. The
What's
journey,
it?
the journey of the play-ins is like the episode. I'm gonna call this episode
Which
Midwest
one are we going
Weekly.
to again?
Femboys versus IBP. Midwest Weekly season
Oh, we can
season
skip this one.
5 episode 10. The journey of the play-ins teams or something. Like it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. He says we can skip this one. Well, we're not gonna skip it. We can gloss over it if you want. If you want to sprint it, I'm not mad about sprinting any series ever. But we will still
Well,
discuss it.
in IBP fashion, they had a really clever idea that it looked like we were sprinting it, but it was interesting.
Okay, well I'll go look at the clever idea. Let's start here with Gabe one. I see a
Okay.
Senna, right? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, is that where you started?
So we have a
'Cause-
we have a war initiate Senna top. Hmm.
Wait, how about you just look at the whole team comp?
Just, hmm. Okay, let me look at the rest of the team comp.
Okay.
we have a 580
Yep.
carry comp. This is good. This is cooking. Really good. This is a good comp. This is a really good. I don't even know how they didn't win. This is a freaking fantastic comp. Let's be honest. What?
Oh,
What?
how we didn't win?
What is Femboy's doing? Femboy's draft is horrible. You picked Briar. Terrace, you came back and you picked. You are a bad. You're a bad jungler, buddy. You are. Get this. This is why you're retired. This is why you retired because
Oh.
of that. All right. He knows I'm joking. No, this is crazy. What in the world am I seeing, man? Like a 580 carry comp against a real comp. Though the Briar is interesting, by the way, Terrace. I'm glad you came back and got to play a series. This is an interesting pick, by the way. I'm interested in it because I do think it's actually kind of low key strong, but I wouldn't think it'd be strong and competitive. And I gotta think you picked this because of the weird wonkiness going on the other side. Because it's not an easy pick to normally play in competitive, personally, from what I've seen. Man, all right. Let's I've also Inferno with the Jax, high value, high value. He
Yeah, extremely.
Only you can do better here is pick Rammus, honestly. Holy moly! All right, well, why don't you break it down for us, CLT? Like, give us some info.
The thought was, let's make this interesting and try to use Fearless to get rid of the 80 carry point. So got into it. I was subbing mid because Noob unfortunately couldn't get off in time for the series. He would have played game 4 and 5, but that was kind of the thought of it. So we knew a lot of the power picks that they were going to play, and we were just trying to figure out what they were. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of along for the ride. Just trying to figure out what to do here. I do have some experience on the Kog'Maw mid, so it was like, okay, if they're gonna pick Mel, which they did, like, okay, Kog'Maw can outrange and kind of outpoke in the mid to late game. Just gotta grind through laning phase. And the Ashe sets up Kaisa. There's another global in the Senna. Flame Dog's obviously pretty goated. I think at one point in time, he told me, and I don't know where they tracked this, but he had like the fastest clear on Zeri jungle in the whole world. So that's why he's been a big proponent. And he continues to show that he has proficiency on this clear. I think it was another sub 3 minute clear. So, yeah, that's kind of the theory around it. War got picked on in the top lane. The Jax pick is absolutely goated. Briar is actually a really smart pick here because
Wait,
no
War is
one that
winning early though. What do you mean? War was clapping.
early, yes, but Briar, like, there's no one who can tank the Briar ult, so that's a pretty clever pick. And
True, didn't think about that. What an angle.
yeah, exactly. So um, overall, like, again, it was a pretty clever game plan. We scrapped quite a bit. Um, I got bullied a little early in laning phase, but got the below a flash from Marika, so that limited the kill pressure at least until about level
So
6, and
you're
then
better than
got
Marika
one back.
confirmed.
I wouldn't go that far now. Like, Marika's
Marika,
pretty fucking good at it.
Marika, he thought about saying yes.
No, no, I would never, never. Me and Marika's had a lot of fun times. Done some 1v1s, and I've gotten some punches back on him. Won a few of those, but he's a very talented, very goated player who can play virtually anything. So, but yeah, again, it's we get outscaled just because of our lack of tools. If they face tank us and we have good setup on the Ash Kaisa with Zeri coming over a wall, we can definitely ambush them and throw a lot of damage their way. But there's just not that many tools. Briar's getting Drakes early, so we do lose a lot of pressure on objectives in the early game, and AP Jax can smack the shit out of us.
Yeah, AP out of all things too. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's unfortunate. First blood not happening until almost 5 minutes of the game though. That's impressive. What a quiet early game.
hmm
Remind you, this game was ended 35 kills to 20. So, um,
It became a bloodbath very quickly.
so was this game just a for fun game or what, man? That's what I'm getting the vibe from both teams. We just running at each other and see what happens, I guess.
Uh, kind of. They caught on to our plan, and they started banning either carries in game 2. So
But
there was a little bit of for fun antics around this series, but it's IBP. I joined I joined the chat with them, and they're like, "So this is our idea," and I'm okay.
and you're like,
Um,
get me out. I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna go play Dota now.
it, it wasn't a get me out. This is what I can offer. It's not much, but let's try it. Fuck it.
I respect it. So I take it there's not too much else in this game. Then was there anything particularly you remember that was something you wanted to bring up before we just kind of move on? I'm cool to let this game be what it is.
There there was a decent river fight. I'm trying to find it where I had one like decent shining moment, but
Oh, did you get a pet
again,
skill?
it's no,
Oh, okay. I was hyped.
no. I solo killed Rika if that's what you're looking for.
Oh, I believe it.
But
Better mid laner. Yeah.
nah, we traded one for one. But
He's
nah, there's not much to go over this game. They won early and kept snowballing that lead, and we'd throw some punches at them, but they just have more tools than us.
yeah. There was potential for like this weird comp to almost work if there just wasn't like maybe a Jax and a Briar. Like honestly, like I just if it's a tank jungler, it might work. But it's a Briar, you know? And it's like
Yeah.
They caught on to your freaking draft and they made sure to punish it. That's for sure.
Yeah, you can see like around the 13 to 15-minute mark, like the
Oh
Ash
yeah, the Asher and
Kaisa.
the jumping over the
The,
wall. Yeah, I saw that mid lane, right?
yeah, like there was that a lot of that potential, but then you see Briar coming over the top, and we're all just trying to kite away from this Briar,
Right.
and it kind of goes a little haywire from there.
Now,
But
how do you kite the Briar at that point? Certainly not
yeah,
easy. And her healing is kind of strong too.
yeah,
Even though she does end up technically dying, but um The fight does get a bit wonky.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like that. So.
Oh, you got the kill on Arika though. You're popping off. Ashes is next. Oh, Ashes
No.
flash. No, the snipe isn't good enough. Okay, you've been ejected.
Yeah. Yeah, I
All
got
right,
jaxed.
I think I'm happy to move on from this game. It's a quick game too. 24 minutes.
Yeah.
What a meme, bro. What a meme. All
Hey,
right.
it's IBP, man. They have fun. First and foremost.
Oh, Lecce and Mishire were they were full on screen. Look at the setup they had going on, man. They were cooking for
Dude,
us.
okay, so I'm glad you pointed that out. We had Halfling who he's done a few things.
Yeah.
He's actually like a big production guy for some of the other bigger leagues. Dude is goated on the production side. Like absolutely, I had to give him the teams and the logos and everything beforehand. Like it's full blown. Like he's goated. Much love and respect for him covering this and doing all that.
Shit. Yeah. Pay the guy.
Yeah. I think he
Well.
does get paid from other leagues.
Oh.
Like
Wait. It. Okay. So this wasn't just a game one thing. This was just a trend.
oh, yeah. By the way, we did game 2.
You guys are trying to make it so that Angel Boy has no picks, right? That was the goal.
Basically,
Mac,
yes.
you can play nothing, even though he plays like melee to carry. Though I guess he got picked game one, but
Yep.
all right.
They caught along to it too. That's why they R1 the Tristana. It's like we're not doing this again.
That's wild. Okay, well, things to note. Terrace played Shyvana, jungle. You haven't seen anybody pull that out yet. That's pretty cool.
Not since the rework.
Not since the rework. Rurika played
Also,
Pike mid. Okay, well that makes sense. Yeah, everybody squishy. I one shot. Okay, cool.
oh, yeah. I just refused a lane though, and I can't lane.
Blitzcrank and Threshold Day combined for 29 deaths. Okay, supportal combat.
Yeah.
It was on point. What is this? What is this series, dude? Why am I talking about this right now on my show? Like, what is the Jin 80 carry top? If it wasn't Timo of all things, just like if it wasn't Jax of all things, maybe it would have been playable. Where's the Vayne? Just pick Vayne though, honestly. Like,
If he could play Vayne, we were definitely talking about it. But he wanted the Jin.
okay. I'll let you tell me about this game, man. I'm just gonna let you talk for the next 5 minutes. Go ahead, have fun.
We got early lead, then got outscaled, pike moments, blitzcrank hooks, we lose. There you go.
You do not get outscaled though. Wait a second. You have all the damage in the world, buddy.
We have no front line. We can't walk into Timo Shrooms.
Why wasn't Jin building frontline tank top?
I want you to just like repeat that question again. If you just think about that.
He procs aftershock with W.
That
Build a Rukern and build a Randuin's Omen.
okay.
Well, that's how I feel. I don't know what else to say, man. You say you don't have a front line, but I mean, dude can do it up there. I swear he can. The support MF can build Frozen Heart. It's fine. She likes mana.
The theory around that was the MF constant slow from the E procs the Lucian W. So the passive keeps going off.
Oh, interesting. It's nice to know. At least you're giving me some insight on random things that's never gonna happen again in the League of Legends competitive game. But
dude, yeah, when they said that in the draft leading up to it, I'm like, oh, I would have never thought about that ever.
We all, we all wanted this really try hard IBP series. We were like, oh, then they're gonna try hard, then to come in, they're gonna like, show off, and then they. Y'all really let me down with this. I didn't know this occurred, man. I heard there was some wonky stuff, but I really didn't know this was the wonky stuff.
No. I will say then game 3 is going to really, really mess you up.
All right. Well, let's just finish game 2. You know what? I'm already done with game 2. I'm not even scroll through this game much. You know what? Everybody that's watching the show, you can hate me. You can hate me for this, but like like okay, there's an angle I guess where this comp could win because they have like Blitzcrank Pike and it's like Teemo and it's like okay, well like maybe you just like out damage them, kill their Blitzcrank, kill their Pike, and then go from there. And Tristana doesn't get enough resets, you win or something. But the problem is again, kind of like the Briarless game, no one can really get in front and be like a front line for the Shyvana. You know, you just gotta try to just basically um, punch through her and you got to stat check her basically. You can't. So somebody just has to take the damage. But man, it's like I don't know. I don't know. I just don't even know what to talk about this game because there's not a real angle. We all know what's going to occur when you have a comp like this.
Mm-hmm.
Unless your shenanigans work enough. I mean, your shenanigans can work. You can trick a team. But like, I feel like it was game one if it's gonna work. Like, if you're just trying to trick femboys, that was the game one angle. Game two seems pretty wild to try to pull this out. So I will show you guys the end of the game, and I'm gonna see my way out of this
There's a really
into the
there's a
finals.
really funny sequence like 26-10.
Oh, okay. I'll show that. I'll show that for the
It's
viewers.
a 4-for-5 team fight, and the only reason Jin didn't die because of the cleanse.
Okay, I'm watching it. Um. Okay. Okay. Oh, you're on stacks. That's big, by the way. Flame Dog's in there. He's doing work. That's absolutely wild. That was your guys' comeback moment right there. How did you not win off that?
uh, Again, simply we couldn't leave base because of freaking Teemo shrooms. We tanked the first one at like 15 minutes, and I forget who tanked it, but all I heard in the comms is, "Oh, this is gonna be a problem." Like, oh shit, yes it will be.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. What is this last game? Game three. Let's see. Well, oh my God! I see some semblance of a real game. I think this is a real game, honestly. Yeah, it's Nautilus top. Yeah,
It,
it's freaking Darius jungle, but Darius jungle is a Flame Dog special, and War plays Nautilus top. Okay, we have a real comp, but it is a hook comp, but you're missing Blitzcrank and Pike. Hey, I guess Lissandra E kind of counts too. I like it. So it's a good comp. It's real. Flame Dog went off 25 and 5, by the way. Holy moly, this guy was a monster. We have a game to talk about. And then what are we doing on the other side? Why are we picking Carthage Jungle? Like, what is happening?
the Karthus jungle is actually pretty good here.
I guess it is. You're probably right. Just like, holy moly. I mean, it's not like a D tier pick, or maybe it is. I don't even know anymore. I haven't seen that crap in forever. Um, what in the world, dude? I don't know what this series is. I don't know, man. Did Ashes die 50 times in this series? Because it's got to be close. I saw he died 14 times last game, 50 times. That's 29 deaths. Did he have enough deaths to get the? He didn't die 21 times, so he didn't do it. Never mind. Did War break 50 deaths? That's a War thing to do.
Most deaths in the regular season.
Yeah, that's why I said that. Did he break it? Was he able to hit it? All right. Let's talk this game through, man. Give us a little insight. Even though this seems to be like the game right here.
Um, Insight. Flame Dog's goaded on his Darius. I thought it was such an insane pick. Laning phase into an actual Kiana player, not the stupid fucking emeralds that try to pull it off and can't. I hate that fucking champion now. I got 60% health through bone plating from a screen away. I was not expecting any of that. Even to the point where Rika PM'd me that, and he's like, I didn't even think that was going to kill. That's holy shit. Yeah, thanks, bro. Glad it was your testing body. But this Karthus really put in a boatload of work. War had, I'd probably say, his best game of the split up top on the Nautilus. I know he soaked up a lot of pressure, but once he got a lead, he played the hooks into turret ranges and played the lane really well after that. Uh, Twitch Thresh is an interesting duo that I don't know how much experience they've got on it. I don't think I've ever seen Crackler play Twitch, but it was really nice. And I mean, overall, this was a very very competitive game. Just got to late game, and eventually we just ran out of CC for Samira, and it's kind of weird to say, when you have Leona, Darius, Thresh, but Samira can just kind of play backline, let Karthus, Leona, and even Aatrox just soak up so much cooldowns, and then she just comes in, waits till she gets her style, pops into a fight, and then goes off. And you can only save the CC, at least from my point of view, on the Lysandra. You can only save the CC so long because I'm still trying to track Kiana in these fights and keep Twitch safe. So there was just a boatload of shit getting thrown at Crackler this game, and it's tough for sure to play.
Yeah, well, the Samira is actually a good pick in the Twitch too. Like, it's actually
Yeah.
kind of smart there from Mac. Um, but I'm sure the fact that there was like no 80 carries left was part of the reason why Samira is getting picked. So if we would have went one more, we would have been it would have been real interesting because all the stuff's like what Nyla, like I don't think there's any 80 carries left pretty much. So definitely something that makes it hard to certainly play. I agree there that you guys just soak up a lot of cooldowns and then kind of Samira comes back in. But at the same point, like any hook on Samira could just mean that she's dead as well. So if she's not playing respectful or an engage from you, for example.
Yeah, there was times where they made the first move, and we have plenty of responses to it if it's in like a skirmish type of setting. But if it's true front to back, it's difficult uh, for Twitch to play overall. And even if it's at the beginning of the fight, Twitch is going to have a hard time with Karthus R in the late game
Yeah,
to play through that. So that's why I thought like Karthus was super goated here um, overall. But yeah, going back to like what happens in game 4, that would have been a really really funny one because I think when we looked at the 80 carry pool on Drafter LOL, everything was grayed out but like 3 picks.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you would have had nothing left for game 5 literally. Like you could just
Yeah.
ban the last 80 carry and just say like who's picking Lux or something, you know?
I think at the end of the day, Vayne and Ziggs were the only ones in the bot lane category that were still open. That was it.
That's crazy. Man, I kind of wish it would have went game 4 or 5 now because it would have been fun to see. Vayne versus Ziggs, by the way, sounds unplayable for the Vayne. So I feel like you just, if you're not the one getting the Ziggs, you just pick something that's good into Ziggs, basically, from the mid pool. That is
Yeah.
so funny, man. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I really wish I had better insight for this game. Thinking about it, but I just don't. Like, I feel like my brain might be brain rotted from the first 2 games of the series. But what I will say is Thresh is actually really good in Leona pre-6. So that's actually pretty nice for them. Problem is Thresh isn't great into Samira, so that kind of sucks. Like you get something good, but then you get something bad out of that. Twitch kind of counters your whole, or no, Samira kind of counters your whole bot lane there. Uh, I got no insight of Darius into Karthus. I just Darius gets on Karthus, Karthus dies. If Darius doesn't get on Karthus, then eventually Darius probably dies. Like I don't know, like it's kind of goofy. But I do think the Aatrox pick actually is going to be pretty good here. It's into 3 melees and a short range. I don't know what really she's considered. What's Lysandra considered? Is she like a burst mage? Like what is she?
Uh,
CLT. I don't know.
like there are avenues where you can treat her as a burst mage, and I think in this comp she could have played that way. I probably should have went Ludens on this, but there was a boatload of like short range melee, so I do think Blackfire has value. But she doesn't match Syndra in burst, but she's also like brings as much CC as like more CC than like a Malzahar. So she's kind of in this weird area where like Vex sits in, where it's not true burst because it's easy to mitigate, but it's still like respectable amounts of CC.
Yeah. Well, I guess
So
what it's, at the end of the day, it's still a bunch of short range picks. Even the
yeah,
Samira, like, I'm sorry, I lost my head. But I was no, actually, that I was in the right spot. Even the Samira though actually kind of likes the comp in a sense because she kind of likes to be able to like just jump into people and it's a bunch of melees. She's gonna stack her shit quick. So I don't know, man. I think she's I think the comp is really hard to play if you're IVP. Is my whole point. I just
yeah,
think
agreed.
yeah.
It takes a lot of coordination, which
My
me being the sub didn't have that great of coordination with them.
yeah. I wish I had more insight, guys. But that's the series, man. Femboys, congratulations! What a hard fought series, and what a road it's been that they've had to traverse here in these play-ins to find their way into the wild card round. And the question is, how do they do in their play-ins, or not their play-ins, but in their wild card round? Are they able to have a better outcome than map will go? That's the real question. Because man, both of them had a tough plans. I can't even say that with a straight face. Why didn't you? I'm yelling at War for this and Flame Dog. Next time they play in my league, they better pick some real stuff. All right, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, let me pull up the last series, guys. As you can see on my screen, it's gonna be Femboys versus Scorch. Let me just get the. I lost it real quick. Let me go to match reporting and pull up the series. Um. So yeah, Femboys had the distinctive honor so far of doing the opposite of what they did last season, and that is open up going 6-0 in the playoffs, or not technically explains or really playoffs, but they're 6-0 so far since the end of the regular season. They haven't gone the full distance like they did last season. They've only gone 3 games. They're closing them out pretty quickly. This team might be legit again. They might be scary. I know they played IVP week 1 with 1080 carries, but Scorch is legit. They lost to him already in the regular season, at the end of the regular season, so it's a rematch. And let's talk about it, right? So we have this game 1 here, which is, let me make sure I'm actually on the correct game before I commit to confirming this. Yep, that is a Cassidy. Okay. Yeah, so game 1, Cassidy for Eureka, something we don't see a lot of. I think that's a pretty exciting pick. I'm always game for unique things, and in a game 1, Cassidy is certainly going to fall into that regards as unique. Um, another Mbessa and a Mundo from Annoying Facts. I'm gonna call him Annoying Facts. Obviously, we know what he's trying to say. Great name. It's fantastic. It's already annoying me. Oh, look, I'm hilarious. Um, Gojo coming in here to sub in here for Scorch, though. Not sure what happened to our boy in game 1. Do you have any insight on that? Why he wasn't there? Aries?
Aries couldn't get off work in time early enough for game 1, but he was in the rest of the series.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep.
And then, yeah, Banana Sword trying his darnest to kind of carry this game 1 on this Xerath, but unfortunately he couldn't out carry the kind of counter pick here with the casted in mid. So what do you kind of feeling and vibing with on this game 1?
I mean, I thought this game 1 was clever. Gojo obviously is found a lot of success on this Fiora, so coming in subbing, probably wanting to try and make a good impression here. Going with the Fiora, I thought was really smart. I do think having Xerath Jin adds a lot of range to this comp that obviously counteracts the short range Fiora wants to play at. But Xerath mid also is very good with split pushers. He provides a lot of wave clear to kind of pseudo stall the game out for them to get the map in a state to split push, but also in a fighter v fighter matchup up top, Xerath kind of acts like Karthus and TF in the sense that they can really skew it one way or another. So I do like that. I think they pick in the bot lane really stood out. The Mel plus Nami. Mel Q, if my memory is correct, gets rid of all 3 Nami E charges. So there's a boatload of damage coming out, and Mel is very good into Jhin, especially in the early levels. Because I think Mel in the early levels, the W value goes up with the skill value that you're trying to deflect. And Jin Q, she can either block the Q in general and send it back at him, which it's going to automatically hit. So that way he has a hard time pushing the lane into her, albeit that she already outwave clears him. But if not, you can do some really tricky stuff with Mel W. Like if you see Jin has, the grenade bouncing off 3 heading to the 4th, you can deflect it and get the full value of that 4th shot, so damage does creep up in that regard. Um, I mean, Kassadin's going to have a hard time in a lot of lanes here, but he does outscale quite heavily to Xerath. So there's a lot of intricacies in both sides of draft. I think Bananasaur reminded people this game that Xerath is one of his mains, and he's always going to be very proficient at this champion, regardless of what it's into. But the rest of the map, I think, just got a little out of hand here for Scorch. And also, they really don't have anything to kill this Mundo outside of Fiora.
Yeah, no, the Mundo pick's kind of really, really strong here. Um, they kind of do like Wukong can, but the problem is if Wukong doesn't get ahead, it's gonna get kind of difficult. Based on what I've seen, the Mundo or the Wukong really doesn't get ahead seriously enough. So, excuse me, guys. So that is certainly gonna make it so there's really no answer for him. Um, I mean, Jin late game can kind of do it, but he's not really known for killing Mundo. He isn't like the Mundo Shredder. But I don't know. I mean, wait a second. They have a Fiora. Can Fiora not just deal with him late game? Actually,
Depends. Like, you're asking Fiora to now join team fights to be the primary one to take down Mundo, but Fiora wants to split push. So it's like, pick your poison.
yeah, but Fiora doesn't only have to split push.
Fiora's not a great team fighter. And also now, if you're adding Fiora to the mix, she's pseudo frontlining now in this team comp in the 5v5. Like, she's there. She does have a Sona behind her, but like Sona gets one shot by Kassadin and Bessa. So
this is true.
It's a pick your poison. Like, for me, I think Fiora just tries to split push, cause some havoc, but then you're also you're stressing communications for a sub to play a split pusher, with a team that he doesn't normally play with. So you have that dynamic as well that created difficulties. This is a really, really hard comp to pull off. There is avenues, but I think if you're going to play for the split push, you need something more impactful out of the support role than a Sona to help, like, protect the Jareth Zin and also like frontline bash Barley with Wukong. Sona's not it. Like, if you pick Leona here, or even a Blitzcrank here to just capitalize on the kind of chaoticness a split pusher can create in a game state, then I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
But Sona's just like, I'm here, I'm pressing buttons, I'm buffing people. Well, you don't buff tank stats, so good luck, Wukong.
Yeah. Also, Scorch did have a lead early in this game. I mean, a lot of it was just basically Bananasaur playing phenomenal on the Xerath, but uh, it almost feels like you just gotta find a way to play around that and get some fights around objectives early where the Xerath can output his DPS with his ult from long range and just play for free. I think that would have been great because you had a Wukong that sets him up well. You have a Sona that sets him up pretty well, and you got Jin Xerath that play really well together as champions. Obviously, everyone knows about the bot lane that you can certainly pull out between the two of them together. So it's kind of sad actually. I think if they're able to play around him, I feel like this game would be going much differently than the outcome. Or maybe I'm wrong.
No, I mean they had tools and resources to really pressure this game, but they're also, in my opinion, I think they're on a little bit of a timer, just because at the end of the day, you have very limited to no resources to kill this Mundo.
I guess you are
So,
playing level 16 Kassadin too.
well, that's the thing is like even if you get ahead and you're focusing down this Mundo, now Kassadin can just kind of side lane against Xerath and pick up resources. Like there's almost really no way to accelerate this game. To be honest, like artillery mages aren't known for accelerating games.
Well, the most important thing happened in this game, and you know what it was? That Moon Prince, Angel Boy, Mac, whatever you want to call him, learned from his mistakes in the series against IBP, and he made sure to pick a mage game one. That's really smart.
Well, I mean, Bananasaur is known for his Mel. We do have a couple of Mel enthusiasts in the league, and Banana's one of them. So I can definitely see that. Rurika picked Mel the week before, so there's some flexible,
Yeah, I
like,
mean, I was just trying to be
component to it.
funny, but alright, get serious with me, my bad.
Wasn't getting serious.
It was totally getting serious. He's like, this
Whatever.
episode has been going on for a while. I'm getting too serious. Oh.
No, just tell me to shut up. I've told you this many times.
Nobody said that, CLT. Jeez Louise, buddy, calm down.
Not yet, but when they're listening to this, they're gonna be like, "All right, on to the next one."
On to the next one, he says. Hey,
There we go.
CLT said
start.
it.
Good
I'm going.
segue.
I'm going.
Let's go.
Let's watch the end of this game real quick, shall we? I think that's the normal trend around here in the Midwest show. When does this game end? 27 minutes. Okay, so like right after this Drake. They did it. They shut down Rurika's Kassadin. They should win the video game, I think.
That's not how that works.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
The Inferno's kind of huge on this Investo with GA plus Death Dance. That's gross. Is that how it ends? We're just gonna we're gonna kill the Xerath and then walk down the base. Oh, that's sad. That's kind of sad. It happens, I guess. Welcome to League of Legends. But yeah, guys, let's jump into game 2, shall we? We're almost there. We've almost gotten through these 4 series of exciting games over the last 2 weeks, and we're going to continue that here with the game 2. Rurika pulling out the Kiana once again. This time doesn't look like it was as successful. It was into an Anivia, which could be a hard angle, but also could be good, depending on how the Anivia wall is used and how you utilize that terrain. But Inferno, I just saw this happen. I was playing Flex the other day, and this pick. It's so rough. Kale into Clt, man. I think this is his hardest counter, which is actually funny to think of that. Like Kale of all things is Clt's hardest counter. But man, that's a rough matchup. I'm not really surprised Kale went 15-2 just based on that, because it's pretty much an unplayable lane for Clt. So really smart pick there. You do not see a lot of Kales, but it's also a unique draft because you've got the AD mid, which you don't see much except when Rurika decides to randomly pull it out these days. You have a Mumu again, which we only see really ever from Rusty. Maybe that was a bit of a snag from him. We're getting Shyvana on the other side. So the very unique drafting here in game 2 by Femboys. Kind of different, and I kind of like that. And I think that's the cool thing about League now with the new setup, is that you get these interesting drafts. What do you have to say about this? Because this is obviously not a troll draft for once. It's just a unique take on the draft here.
I mean, this is actually the first time I've looked at this. I really didn't watch much, if any, at all of this series, but I think this is there's some cleverness to both sides of it. The Kiana is obviously something Rurika has been gravitating towards. If you play the lane reactionary and you can land the Q when Kiana like QEs into you, Anivia can like hold her ground in that trade. And then level 6, Anivia can stall out the lane. I find it somewhat funny that for once Scorch kind of got a touch of their own medicine in the draft in this Kale, because if these drafts were flip-flopped, it would not surprise me if Ares picked the Kale. Like he can add a factor in the draft to some of this wackiness that they've been known for if you've tracked them in splits in the past. So I think this Kale is pretty clever, honestly, and paired that with the Amumu, you have a decent amount of magic damage, so your damage profile is not bad. So, Milio is kind of a soft answer to Ash Seraphine, just because of the R. So I think both teams got what they wanted outside of the top lane pick, and yeah, it's a pretty clever draft on both sides. This is the second time we've seen Shyvana now in playoffs. That might be the only thing that I'm kind of questioning, just because I think Scorch, the way they've won games is Rusty's like first couple ganks, setting up the rest of the map, and then them playing through Rusty.
Yeah,
Where Shyvana is like very, from what I've gathered, playing against new Shyvana is a limited sample size. She's more scaling and isn't really known for her gank pressure early. Not that old Shyvana was, but
yeah.
like you're rewarded a lot more for the scaling here.
And I want to say she's still like the worst jungler in the game, or at least close to it. Like even with some of the changes they made after her initial release, like re-release, I guess I should say. So it's interesting to be picking her here. I mean, maybe you're picking her based on, I don't know, the levity of a surprise or something, but I could see the pick working here too. Like I could see it, but I also have a lot of CC and a lot of ways to make it hard for you to just one shot somebody, which kind of what she still kind of does. She kind of goes in and like blows somebody up usually. So they have tools to be anti Shyvana basically. I think it's a hard Shyvana game. Um, I feel like you're playing the Anivia. It's a really fantastic pick. It's gonna do so much here. Just pick something around it that makes the Anivia be more unlocked. That's my only thing. I'd rather see that. You have a nice front line with the Cassante. It's unfortunate that there's a Kale pick. You just got to work through that. But I don't know. You go.
I
It just feels that's what it felt more like to me. Like I don't see the angle. Maybe if Rusty was here, he'd explain like, oh, this is the reason why we picked it, and me and you'd be like, oh, okay, it makes so much more sense. But I don't know. I think that jungler is like a D tier jungler. I don't see it being a competitive pick.
I don't even know enough about it, and I'm not even gonna try and explain like when it's good because I just don't know. Looking at these lane matchups, honestly, there was a world where Banana and Ares could have swapped picks and put the Cassante mid and Anivia top. Like Ares is that much of a prick to play Anivia top. And I say that with all love and respect. Uh, but I don't know. Shyvana just doesn't make sense. Like I feel like you want a fast-paced jungler to try and use that early game prowess just to get ahead or respond and try to protect your weak laners overall. Because Ash Seraphine, I mean, is strong in lane, but the two solo lanes, like Cassante needs some items, and Nivea obviously needs some items. So
Yeah, and the other thing is Shyvana has no setup for ganks really, except for like a really nice wall into an Q maybe, but it's a champion with invisibility with a bunch of dashes. Bot lane kind of has it if you can hit somebody with the like an auto into like the Seraphine E. The problem with that though is you could just use disengage tools with Emilio or the spell shield and block that Anivia E. I mean Nivea E, I'm sorry, Seraphine E. You know, So I don't know. It's a hard game for Shyvana to play on both sides, man. I think with her team it's hard to play, and against the enemy team it's hard to play. And I just still don't think it's a great jungler. I would avoid it if it were me. I'm happy teams have got to play it the last 2 weeks, but I feel like it's not gonna get continued to be played. But then I could be completely wrong, and maybe somebody's got some sort of setup that's gonna make the champion really really OP, or like a good comp to pick it into or around. So I am definitely looking forward to that to see if that evolves over the last 4 weeks of the season. I think it's only 4 weeks left. I gotta double check that, but it's close to that. It's basically 4 weeks. Um, but yeah, so with that said, just kind of jumping through this game a little bit. Um, Again, Scorch is able to get a lead. Really strong early game actually, and the Shyvana's 8-0 or 3-0. I mean, so Scorch again early on having some success. Aries back in the lineup. Things are looking good. It's just like, what can you do? Can you stop their scaling? You can't really do that, right? Okay, well then can you win the game before a certain point in the game? And we're talking 25 to 30 minutes. Uh, Based on this game, didn't even make it that long. Apparently they scaled before that because, wait a second, the scaling team won at 26 minutes. I didn't even realize that. I thought this game was like a 40-minute game just based on looking at these comps. 26 minutes? That's insane.
Yeah, I didn't catch really any of this game, but
The,
yeah,
the,
it's
the Kale is 1-1 at 13 minutes. She's not even like OP. Your Casante's 3-1. Like your Casante isn't gonna beat her in an all-out 1v1. It's just not gonna happen pretty much any point in the game. But your Cassandra can survive this game. I actually am dumbfounded they actually found a way to lose this game at this point, because it's like, wait a second, what? Like you actually have a way, and you don't lose it at 40 minutes. You lose it at 26. That's actually crazy. I was not expecting that at all. I thought it was like a
yeah,
long game for some reason.
my guess would be a Scorch probably picked some fights that weren't too advantageous to them, and I mean, I don't know. I'm seeing Zeke's first item on Cassante. All right, I get that.
I mean, it's not like a
Um,
bad item for him, but I think I'd rather see him have something that's more defensive in lane. I don't think Zeke's is that. You know.
uh, yeah, Warden's mail something. I mean, I'm seeing Force of Nature on him at the end game. I have no issues rushing that. I actually think it's a really good item.
Yeah, looks like he was going at second. Even 18 minutes in, it's still a close game. What happened? I'm trying to find like what. Well, Kale's killing Cassante under the turret. Okay, that's part of it. Kale's 4 and
That
2 now. Kale's scaling. All right, so it's probably just a Kale thing, man. I mean, the score said that when I see it's 15 and 2, but I mean that probably is just what it is. Kale just started solo killing Cassante, which
yeah, looks
which
that
I
way.
also kind of feel like a part of why you're gonna get solo killed in lane is that Zeke's, right. That Zeke's doesn't really offer too much.
Yeah, I don't know the tech. I'm not gonna proclaim to be an expert up there, and I know Aries has definitely done a lot of research on it, so maybe he knows something. Yeah, he probably does know something that I don't, but it definitely looks weird. So
Yeah, it's definitely not the angle I would have went, but
yeah,
to each their own.
I need. Yeah, I probably need somebody smarter than me to figure that one out. But yeah, I'm watching this now at like the 20-minute mark, and it just becomes the KO show.
Yeah, I think I actually missed some kill kills. Let me back up a little bit and see what happened. I was at like 18. Oh, there's an ace. Okay. So
Yeah, 19. Actually, with 20,
20 to like 20
20.
minutes, 21 minutes on the dot is when like the fight breaks out.
Yeah,
Kills 4 and 2. Just a nice pick on Rusty. You get the shutdown. Now there's almost no reliable CC that's gonna shut down this Kale. Oh, jeez, Louise.
yeah.
Kale things. It's actually just picks though. It's literally just picks, two back-to-back picks, and then they try to take a fight that they probably really shouldn't look for.
It's 3-item Kale at 23 minutes. Yep.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's brutal,
This makes
dude.
sense.
It's brutal. Well, guys, if I've learned anything about League of Legends today, it's ADCs in every role doesn't work, and Kale versus Cassante is unfair, and um, and I need to retire from my team. XD. Holy moly, Kale things though, for real. I'm joking about most of it. Maybe not the ADC part, because that's just not ideal. Uh, sometimes you know, watching back series and stuff, your brain really starts to rot. I gotta tell you guys, it really starts to rot. So I'm gonna get to this last game because I think I'm at that point. Um, all right, game 3 of the series here in Femboy Sweep. Um, it's gonna be a Rika TF game. Inferno playing the Graves top, which I think I've seen him play this thing jungle too. He's very good on it. It's very strong. I think it's the most broken jungler in the game at the moment. Surprised people haven't picked up on him more and more as the weeks have progressed. I would think at this point he will be being picked more. Um, but the Rek'Sai ends up being the jungle pick here. 3, 4, and 9 for annoying facts here. Um, but on the other side, going towards the Sejuani, it kind of feels like the Sejuani trend with me and Rusty is we're picking this pick. We do really well with it. We lose the game. Yeah, Sejuani, you can't carry on the pick, unfortunately. I've lost so many Sejuani games now that I think about it, man. Being strong. It's kind of an unfortunate thing because like he's a really good Sejuani player. I know I'm a really good Sejuani player. I know there's more other good Sejuani players, I'm sure, in this league. The problem is the pick just does not seem to be doing what it used to. It's just it needs like a buff or something, man. They need to save this champion because this champion does not feel anywhere near as good as it once was. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's really hard for them to play this game from what I'm looking at right now.
Um, I feel like Scorch just put everything in the Ares basket.
I mean, Jinx
Like,
is here, so there's that basket.
okay, cool. Like there's no, there's just Rusty as frontline. Jinx doesn't like Jinx is a front to back team fight AD carry. If you don't have your full team there, the idea kind of blows up in your face. And also, it's Soraka against 4 ranged. Oh, okay, good luck. Soraka is really good at being like a really smart counter pick type of support. It's really good into primarily like melee comps um, that rely on cooldowns. So I just I don't. I'm not a fan of this. I think the Graves into the York. I assume Graves autos push back the York ghouls and do a lot of damage to them because of the multiple bolts. Potentially one shot them. I don't know exactly how it's coded, but it just feels like Inferno's had some tech against York, and just what are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, I definitely get you there. I remember catching some of this game too. Our game 3, but I caught it too. It's really messing with my brain. Game 2. But yeah, I remember catching some of this game, and Eureka just constantly punished the York. Like every time Ares stepped up, it just felt
Yeah.
like him and Inferno were killing him. Uh, certainly agree that the Soraka here is not easy. I don't go as far as say it's unplayable, but it ain't easy. That's for sure. Uh, a lot of that range does make it so she's kind of in a weird spot where she can never really step up even with her tank in front because she doesn't want to get poked here. There's enough range to kind of poke her down even when they're like setting up for maybe like a bit of a team fight in the river for a Drake or something. So she really has to play perma back line. She can't even play in the middle between her AD carry and her tank if she wants to. To be a little aggressive and get some poke and whatever else. She has to just play on top of her Jinx at all times and end her way and hope that the range that they have can counteract that. But again, I don't even think that Femboys wanted to really play like that. They didn't really care about playing really front to back. They just want to utilize this Graves, who I think can split push really well since he's not forced to play jungle. He can just play lane and um, use his TF to just go around the map and kill whatever they wanted to kill. Anybody that was on a lonely island just would get punished. So
Yeah, agreed.
it's
100%.
it's one of those series where I feel like we're not seeing any like core drafting. It's really unique drafts, like almost all series. Uh, and I don't know if it's just these players in particular, but it almost feels like, and call me crazy, but I feel like everybody just egoing the series. We're all just like ego picking half the time, and saying like I can outplay you with this and you can outplay me with that, you know. So I don't know, man. I wish I
I
had more
agree.
insight. Wish I had more insight than that. But if you were drafting correctly here, like if this was the correct draft, I agree with you. You got to pick something else than York top. Got to allow the Jinx to play the game. I kind of see what you're saying now. Even though Sejuani is great front line with Jinx, Jinx generally wants a solid 5v5 team fight. She wants her team with her. Not really a split pushing top laner that's kind of AFK. But then you could make the argument, well, it's a 4v4, so I guess it's kind of like, all right, but if Graves ever shows up, that's not good for them, you know? So, did he go kind of a Tinker build on Graves too, if I remember correctly as well? Yeah, that's pretty
That
tanky. He had Sunder
is.
Sky plus Immortal Shield Bull. He's not even like one shotting this game. He's gonna hurt, but
Yeah.
he's not one shotting. So it's a unique take on
Yeah.
it. It's like definitely a top lane Graves build if I've ever seen one.
He definitely looks like he's practiced this or done this before.
Yeah,
So
and
I just yeah, this is a bunch of ego in this draft. I feel like neither team outside of the Kale pick, into Casante really challenged each other in the draft. It was like I get to play what I want to play, you play what you want to play, and then we'll see you on the Rift
yeah,
type shit.
yeah. And in the end, the Fanboys got their revenge on the series, right? They took down Scorch after the Scorch upset, and that's in this time with the sub too. I mean, they were without Wayne Grod for this series, so um, yeah, it's really interesting. Femboys back to back weeks too, by the way, also with the sub, so it's something to track. But it also is like a Femboys thing because you know what's funny. You know what's really funny right now? I'm just gonna point this out there. Wayne Grod came in on both Femboy rosters to sub at the start of playoffs. Now Wayne Grod is not playing at the start of playoffs.
True.
What is happening? This man could three-peat, but instead he's like, throw anybody in there. I'm gonna be in Cancun chilling. Like, what
Well,
is happening? I know
I
he's been having some
know.
problems with some stuff. I'm aware, but it's
Well,
just,
from what I was told, his PC blew up.
yeah, that's what I was
So
saying.
he's been having a hard time. I don't know if he's gonna have the resources to get a new one or play his games to get in before this next playoff series. But I mean, they're doing well without him.
Yeah, and it's a double limb, so they can still drop a series. So no matter what, they still got 2 more weeks to figure this part out, right? Um, and I think that's a great segue. I'm gonna give hats off to the Femboys here. They were able to do what Mepico wasn't. They were able to get past their first round after a nice play-in series, take care of business there, and now they find themselves with a matchup against Incarnate. And this will be the end of the episode for you guys. No power rankings, by the way. I was thinking about doing them, but because I missed last week due to my vacation being in my own Cancun, after getting sent there by Mepico. But no, I was legitimately on vacation. I was visiting my dad, so I was away for most of the week. But yeah. So with that being said, I figured we'll end the power rankings as they were. It's really more of a regular season thing, but I know last year I did it throughout. So, but nevertheless, real quick, we'll kind of give our takes on these because it has been a long episode. I think our longest episode of the season, and certainly one of the longest in the last like 2 seasons. I want to say of doing this last 2 or 3
I
seasons. It's up there.
told you to tell me to shut up.
You weren't the problem. We had a lot to talk about. Um, so yeah, Femboys versus Stun Incarnate. I think right off the bat, we've seen this matchup play out in the regular season. Incarnate did win the series. How do we feel about Femboys at their current status? Can they take on this juggernaut that is Incarnate, who he's clearly looked like the best team in the league, basically far and away none, with the exception of one series they dropped a Hidden Leaf.
Man, this is gonna be an interesting one. I think they played week 1, and if I remember the series correctly, Femboys did not look sharp at all, and Stunned has obviously been a powerhouse throughout the whole split. So this could go 5 games, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the angle. I honestly though I feel I feel confident to say that Femboys run's going to not end here, but they're going to lose this series. I don't know if it goes 5. I think it can, like you said, but I actually think with all the weird stuff going on with the Femboys, they've had I don't want to say an easy road to get here, but I think they've had an easier road than Leaf, at least. Leaf only had to play one series, but I think that one series was against a pretty darn good opponent. Um, so I feel confident in saying that the road has been relatively easy for them, and that's all respects to Scorch. Um, but I think Scorch did the thing that they reverted. They reverted to the team that they've been in the past, and so I'm hoping this is not the Scorch throughout the rest of the playoffs. But they looked ugly in this series. They did not look like the team that was playing for about 3 or 4 weeks there of really solid League of Legends. They look like a different version of themselves. Um, so I feel like Sun Incarnate is going to stop that right here, and I think they're going to 3-1 them. And what is going to be, I think, still a good series. I think that they're not going to be like Sun Incarnate just walking in and 25-minute games every game, but I think Incarnate just looks so solid right now. Does the 2 weeks off affect them? Maybe, but if I had to guess, I don't think so because I think they were one of the teams that also had like a week off in the middle of the season because of um, Vancouver, leaving the league. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna call this a close one though. Like probably, and I know he missed the wild card round for predictions, but I'm gonna say something like I'm gonna say a 55-45 in favor of Sun Incarnate, but I do think they win this series 3-1. Who you picking, by the way? You did tell me it's gonna go 5, but who you picking?
I think I'm going with the Incarnate. I will say in 5 games, I do think it goes the distance. I think Incarnate has been the more consistent team, and I think they will have an advantage of kind of downloading some of Femboys, being able to look back through the season and and see what they've improved on. I know they played in week 1, and obviously Femboys is a completely different team than that week. But I think also them having the week off and them having a lot of support staff behind them, they can also talk to their sister team about playing Femboys, later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think well, their sister team played them in week 3, so maybe not much, but yeah, I think they have time to download Femboys and figure it out what they're good at. For me, Femboys is a question mark deeper in series. I We've seen, if you've been around the server, you've seen them play a lot of different champions, but we've also seen a lot of different lineups as well. Inferno being top, busting out the Jax. He played Aatrox. He's now got a game on Kale. Hell, Teemo and Graves are still in his back pocket if there's good spots there. And Rurika's champion pool, he hasn't really showcased what he's busted out, in past splits.
Yeah.
It so I think there's a big question mark there that if they put in the practice, I think they can really sneak up on Incarnate and make drafts interesting, but I don't know from what I've seen, all split. They don't look like they've experimented. They can be downloaded pretty easily. So I would say Incarnate. I do think Femboys makes it interesting, just because they are talented players. You could argue, they're favored in some roles over than others, but I think Incarnate's just better overall team camaraderie, cohesiveness, and they're very structured in how they do stuff. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that. Incarnate 3-2 over Femboys. I think they'll make it interesting, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I couldn't remember. I had to double check because I always confuse my my son team sometimes. But yeah,
yeah,
if
same.
Spirit Tracks is playing, right? If Spirit Tracks is back, baby, I'm all in. I'm all in. Hey, Lysander though, the most deaths on a mid laner was he. So maybe that's exploitable. I don't know, but no, I think Spirit Tracks and Wintech, man, they've been phenomenal. I know you're in the Jacob Club, and then of course, Barbecue. He's the one asking
Barbecue.
for this episode the most, right, by the way. Yeah, dude, I think they're set up for success, man. They look so good,
Yeah.
hard to beat. Then we go into Mythos versus Leaf, and this is a rematch of also week one. That's so funny, actually.
Oh no shit! Actually, I didn't notice that.
It's kind of comedy gold. We saw a playoff matchup at the start of the season. But yeah, so man, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I don't even know if this is a limb. I feel confident in this actually. And I think Hidden Leaf's going to win this series. I think that, first off, that was a different Mythos week one. Second off, that was a different Hidden Leaf week one. I think Hidden Leaf's has improved tons. They've been able to knock off
Agreed.
Incarnate, who has knocked off Mythos, and I think that matters. I think Hidden Leaf's going to come with a chip on their shoulder, wanting to prove that they can hang with the best. They've been a top 4 finisher, I think, the last 2 splits, I want to say, or close to it. Definitely were last year.
Yeah.
I think they're coming in and they wanna prove that they can hang with the big boys for once, because now that's what this is. This is their moment to prove that. If they lose this, then everything doesn't matter, because now they're right back where they started, and they got to get through another team in the lower brackets who they more than likely beat, because I do think they could beat Scorch or Mapago. But this is like their moment right here. So I'm gonna say this series does go 5 games. I think this is going to be a fantastic one. I think this is going to be another reminiscent of Small Brains and Mapago. I think we're in for a treat here. And I'm going to take Hidden Leaf, winning 3-2. And I'm going to call this at 51-49 in favor of them. It was almost a 50-50 pick in my head, but I do think that Leaf has something this split. I think Arthidius is that. I'm sorry, not. Yeah, Arthidius, right? I'd be tweaking on my
Yeah.
players. Yeah. I think he's he's like that factor. He's the newest member of Hidden Leaf, and he's came in and he's really like kind of blown this thing up with Akaza being that great player he is, and the rest of the team, of course. I'm not going to leave out names, but I don't know. And look, Mythos is great. We built some great friendships over there too, but I think I just have to go that angle. But I would not be surprised at all if Mythos wins. Their roster is great, you know. So it really just depends, I guess. But yeah, what's your angle?
Sign me up for 5 games of 1-2-9 versus Akaza, please. I absolutely will be paying attention to this match. Well, I might not, because I think I'm streaming on Sunday.
This
Or
is
wait,
Saturday.
no, these
Saturday.
matchups are tomorrow. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a front row seat to this shit. Yeah, sign me up for that. I think 1-2-9 has been a part of the very impressive jungle pool that's been in this league overall. Yourself included. But I mean, 1-2-9's got a long day ahead of him with Akaza in 5 games. I think I do side with the side of Hidden Leaf, because they have shown uh, a much like wider variety of team comps. Like we've seen Akaza play stuff like the Zaheen, but then also busted out Kha'Zix and Nefiri. So I think they have a lot more like variety in the champs that they pick. The Nocturne Xerath they've been pulling that out quite a bit. And I think this team has been learning a lot this whole split. You noted that they've been improving. I think they've been looking so good week to week and figuring some stuff out. But this Mythos team, they like to scrap.
Yep.
You've got 1-2-9 Astros. We've had Rexy on.
Yep.
He's not afraid to say that he's going to fight. and Seko in the top lane, like him versus Goji is going to be great. I'm super excited for this matchup. And I'm really wanting to see. I would probably, as long as what Saturday nights is going to be, this could potentially go 5 games. I do give the favor Hidden Leaf. I'm probably going to say 3-2, but this could be a fun one, especially in the draft.
Yeah.
Because I something tells me Mythos has some tricks that they haven't shown us yet.
Yeah, and this might
Um,
be the time to bring him out because I mean, you win this, and I think you're in the
winners
winner
bracket.
bracket final. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty sure that's how that works. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a pivotal game. I think you want to put everything into. I don't want to say you want to put all eggs into this basket here, but I mean, you're giving yourself a real good chance of winning the split if you win this series, right? And yeah, you noted the players. I was gonna say Rexy and Guma are very interesting because I think they're extremely strong bot lane. It'll be really fun to watch them down there. Um, I'm not saying that obviously Toji and Maki aren't because they definitely are, but I almost might want to give the edge to Rexy and Guma. They're really freaking good from what I've seen of them. Uh,
But I would give the Goji Akaza like duo the support
Well,
jungle. Uh,
I was gonna go say and talk about top here for a second with the Gojo, like Gojo and the Sekko. I think Sekko's improved a lot playing top lane, but I think I
mhm.
still give that edge to Gojo 100%. Right, like across the board, it's pretty tight. Akaza into 129. I think Akaza's proved that he's still one of the top dogs. I wouldn't even doubt that for 1 second. So, um, but I still think the Arthadius thing is my big like breaking point for this. I feel like he's just pushing Hidden Leaf over to the edge here, and that's what it's going to come down to. With that said, though, I'm really excited for the series, and I'm really excited to end this episode because 2 hours and 46 minutes later, here we are.
Woohoo!
It's been one hell
Told
of
you
a
to tell me to shut
ride.
up.
It's been one hell of a ride today, boys. Thank you for watching the episode as always. Sorry we missed last week. We still talked about all the series. Please never give me ADCs again. And
Hmm. Hey,
and
go watch Herald League.
yeah, go
It
watch Herald
started.
League. I
There's a
didn't
lot of
get
fun there.
you know what the worst thing about this all, guys, is I didn't get to come on the show and talk about something positive. I didn't get to come and talk about me winning, and that really makes me sad. I I didn't get to do it for 7 straight weeks, and I think I might go cry in a corner. It's pretty rough. So if you have some tissues to send me, please send them my way. I will be
I'll
accepting
post a
them
GoFundMe.
as charity. No, but it's cool. Mappa Goes is a great bunch of guys, so I'm glad it was them that we played and lost to. So, all right, that's all I got. I'm out of here, man. You good? You feeling good, TLT? Got anything to say?
I'm I'm good, man. I'm excited to see what this weekend's action.
All right, then we're out of here. So, thank you all again for watching the show. See you next week. Don't expect there to be any more missed episodes either. If there is, you can beat me up, but I think we're good for the rest of the split. I don't got no more vacations. CLT might, but I'll just figure something out if he's gone.
I do have vacation next week.
All right, that's fine. I'll figure it out while he's gone. All right, guys, take care. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.
Deuces.